see the conclusion of day 2, the adjudication. Just to rehearse and warm up the voice. So, 4th of July, 5 p.m., the Old Bailey courtroom. Yeah, the jury has reached a decision about the second charge of Ryunosuke Naruto. Does the defense wish to make a closing statement? It's clear that names with too many S sounds next to each other are very hard to say. So if anyone is guilty here, it's whoever conceived of such a name in the first place. I'm afraid that sort of chicanery won't help you here. You see, I've been a step ahead of you from the start. What do you mean, a step ahead? Susato-san is child's play. You Japanese have vowel between your S's. But we Englishmen stare the devil in the face with a English triple S in Miss Susato. Go ahead, try it. What? Okay, it's going too fast. Try if you dare. A rapid fire triple Miss Susato. Miss Susato-san! A step ahead? The last name of yours was a step too far. I beg your pardon? Since the beginning of this trial, I've been paying careful attention to your pronunciation, Mr. Sholmes. And if you say you've been doing your utmost to voice, saying the name, it's always been the lady in question, or your judicial assistant or some such. Why? Simple. Because you know that you're very likely to dishonor the lady by mispronouncing her name yourself. ... I couldn't deny that isn't something about which I haven't been so slightly worried. Very well, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, state your leanings. Not guilty. 0 to 6. Well, it would appear that the matter is settled then. 7-day sinner Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Spotlight on Ryunosuke. On this occasion, the court finds you not guilty. Congratulations. Dear me, not the conclusion I would have expected from a logical and reasonable jury, I must say. Thank you very much. I hereby call an end to this, the second of the defendant's trial this week. I trust you shall all attend the next trial. It looks as though my job here is done, partner. Thanks, Kazuma. I'll treat Susato-san to something sweet to say sorry. Good idea. I'm sure judicial assistant Mikotoba would be touched. You're trying to avoid saying it too, aren't you, the lady in question's name? That is all. Court is adjourned until the third trial. Tomorrow evening. To be continued. That goes very, very fast. I couldn't say like, oh yeah, this is Kazuma at the defense for some reason. They brought Kazuma back from the dead just for this special occasion. Alright, so that next bring to the investigation of the hidden Kokoro. So, 22nd of February, 1:11 p.m., Naruhodo's legal consultancy. Oh, Susato is there. Phew! We made it back in one piece. Just. To be perfectly honest, I thought we were finished here for a while. Oh, I know. What a lot of close shaves. There are so many carriages on the streets of London, but we're very nearly flattened several times. Oh, no, I didn't mean that. Yes, I know. It was a marvelous defense, Naruhodo-san. It really was. I was in awe of you. Oh, thank you. And now that your favorite exploit has won us some more precious investigation time, let's see if we can't find some new clues for court tomorrow. Yes, let's do that. ... Is everything alright? I suppose. I still can't quite believe it, that's all. That I'm here in England, working as a lawyer. I mean, in the Old Bailey, no less. The truth is, it shouldn't be me, should it? It should be him standing in my shoes. It should be Kazuma.
It was Kazuma-sama's wish that you follow him to Great Britain and work alongside him.
Yes, I mean, I never had the chance to ask him exactly why, but he clearly had a plan. I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for him.
And you're doing wonderfully, Naruto-san. I've no doubt that Kazuma-sama would say exactly the same if he were here with us.
Thank you, Susato-san. Thank you. Alright, we can converse. Today's trial. It was quite a shock earlier today, wasn't it? When the victim himself turned out in court and took the stand.
I know.
Not only that, but then the findings that finding now that he's actually a bare-faced gas thief as well.
Yes, that was certainly a surprise to us all. For a while, it seems as though everyone had quite forgotten about Sosuke-san poisoning the tea.
Careful of your phrasing, Susato-san. He didn't poison anything. And there's more to this Mr. Shamspear that we yet know. I'm sure of it.
Mr. Shamspear certainly wasn't the noble, upstanding man everyone thought he was first.
What's become of him, actually?
I was told that he would be returning to the hospital ward when he was receiving treatment.
Oh, which one is that?
Let me check. Ah, yes, he's at St. Bartholomew's, or Bart's as Londoners call it.
We know that place, don't we?
Yes, we visited Miss Green there yesterday. It's the same hospital to which she was taken.
Oh yes, after Sosuke-san stabbed her in the back.
Do be careful of your phrasing, Naruto-san. He didn't stab anyone.
Perhaps we both owe Sosuke-san an apology. St. Bartholomew's. Yes, we should probably visit the hospital later. Okay, what's next? So we know that Sosuke-san took tea to the victim on the night in question. But as he isn't the culprit, then obviously...
Yes, the poison surely wasn't in the tea.
But if that's the case, how on earth did the poison get to Mr. Shamspear's body?
I'm sure we'll find a clue at the scene. There must be something in Mr. Shamspear's room that will help solve the mystery.
Well, naturally, Scotland Yard detective has been over the place already. But it couldn't hurt us to have another look around, I think.
Definitely. And I'm desperate to know the outcome of the investigation into the tea left in the bar of soap.
Well, if we run to Inspector Gregson, we could ask him about that. Oh yeah, I need chips. If we're gonna run into Gregson, we need chips. Kazuma's wishes. Kazuma Asogi, the best friend I ever had, and a lawyer with such promise. He really saved my bacon in that horrible incident just before we left Japan. Now we see pictures of the first trial. I can still picture him now, looking so fierce and determined in court. And then after the trial, that crazy idea came up with. As a stowaway? Yes, you can fit inside my trunk if you curl up small enough, I'm sure. No one would know. Kazuma, won't you tell me why? Why go to these lengths so that I can accompany you to Great Britain? Well, it's been on my mind ever since we got through the trial that you really ought to go into law, be a defense lawyer. You've got a natural talent for it, believe me. I guarantee it. But I've never been thought about becoming a lawyer. Well, I can't force you, obviously. You have to decide for yourself.
But anyway, London is the cultural capital of the world. The city at the forefront of everything. It can't hurt for you to see it with your own eyes.
No, that's true.
I suppose, though, if you were to become a lawyer, then one day...
No. One day what?
Oh, no. Never mind.
Question mark?
Naruto-san?
Oh, sorry. I was just thinking about Kazuma.
Yes, he's forever in my thoughts, too. To change the Japanese judicial system for the better. That was his dream. That's why he so desperately wanted to come to Great Britain to study, of course.
Yeah, that's right. But... Question mark?
Yes?
I do wonder if his true intention lay elsewhere sometimes. I don't know, the thought just takes hold of me every now and then, that's all. Kazuma's true intentions.
Naruto-san? What do you mean by Kazuma-sama's true intentions?
No. I mean this! He shows the katana.
His katana?
I never expected to inherit this sword after Kazuma has passed away, of course.
No, I know. It was because I asked you to take it.
When I have it on my side in court, I feel as though it gives me courage.
Yes.
Actually, the night before he died, he told me a little about the sword. You can see the blade. Karuma? Karma?
That's right. It's a prized sword that's been passed down through generation of the Asogi clan.
And he shoots it.
A Japanese man's sword is his soul, Ryunosuke. It can't be parted from my katana. Karuma guides me. I truly believe that.
So its name compels its wielder to slice evil in two? Not that you would need much compelling.
On that subject, there's something very important that I have to do in Great Britain.
Something you have to do?
Yes. I'd appreciate you seeing it through with me.
Of course. Of course I will. Whatever it is, I'll sit through to the end with you.
I knew you wouldn't let me down.
What did he mean by something very important that I have to do?
I had hoped that the answer to that question would become apparent when we arrive here, but as yet I've not found a single clue.
I see.
Alright, so we're gonna move. Shome Suite, Miss Green General Hospital bed, Shamspears Road, Briar Road, Gary Deb's room, prison. Let's visit everything. Let's go to Shome Suite. (22nd of February), Shome Suite.
Oh, Reno! It's Susie! Hooray! You're back! Hello, Iris. You're in fine spirit as always, I see. I am, and you look as immaculately presented as ever, Susie. Oh, you flatter me. Well, you could have come at a better time. I just made a pot of tea. I'll set some cups. Really? Thanks, Iris. But actually...
Oh, thanks, Iris, but actually, what is that foul smell? Aha! The Wanderers return at last! Where on earth have the pair of you been? We've been in court. Oh! For Mr. Mustache's case. That was today, was it? Huh.
I'm sure I mentioned it only yesterday, Mr. Sholmes.
I'm sure you think you did. Well, we can laugh about it now.
Opium pipe.
So tell me, how did the trial go?
Reasonably well so far. We managed to escape without a guilty verdict at least.
Really? I would have liked to see it. And I must pass the time of day with Mr. Reaper again. It's been too long.
Is Lord Van Ziek an acquaintance, Mr. Sholmes?
Naturally. There's not a person in the world who doesn't know my name, Mr. Navarro.
Not quite what I asked, but still.
Mr. Sholmes? Whatever is that odor?
Oh, yes, what is it? It's faint, but absolutely awful.
Ah, indeed, that's the scent of victory, my dear fellows. Victory in science!
Oh, dear.
Alright, I'll bite. What's he up to now? Alright, let's converse. Lord Van Ziek.
Lord Baroque Van Ziek. Yes, it's an interesting sobriquet he has, isn't it? The Reaper of the Bailey. Once the legendary prosecutor has fought for someone's conviction, that person is doomed. Even if he or she is found not guilty by the courts, sooner or later, their hapless soul will vanish from the capital.
But vanish how exactly?
By falling under a passing carriage, or drowning in the Thames, or succumbing to a sudden fever, or quite out of the blue, being set upon by a highwayman. There are numerous routes to one's final terminus, my dear fellow.
It all seems a little far-fetched, really.
Well, on the bright side, Mr. Mustache is fighting fit, for the time being at least.
That's not overly reassuring.
If the rumors are true, though, the obvious conclusion would surely be that those acquitted are, well, by Lord Van Ziek's own hand.
As it happens, Mr. Sato, that is quite impossible.
Oh? Why?
Naturally, the men very quickly came under such suspicion. However, whenever these incidents occur, the Reaper always has a cast-iron alibi.
Really?
And so his reign continued, but 5 years ago, he vanished from the courts, never to appear as a prosecutor again. That is, until you arrive in the country, Mr. Naruhodo.
Yes, so I've heard. In fact, it was the very day I arrived when I was thrust into that trial at the Old Bailey. That bitter fight to the death coincided with the Reaper's resurrection. And really did end bitterly indeed.
And here you are, facing Mr. Reaper again.
Now, I don't know if you're just incredibly unlucky or incredibly unlikable.
Or I think it goes deeper than just me. I sense a general loathing of all Japanese people. Exclamation mark on Iris. Okay, let's talk about the foul smell. So, what is that indescribably foul smell?
Ah, well, most probably this, I would say.
He shows some sort of vial of blue chemical inside of a tube, shut tight with a twistable cap. What is that?
My dear fellow, it is of course my latest invention! A chemical test that can identify whether or not a tea is genuine at the drop of some tea.
Oh my!
There are some unscrupulous sorts manning the stalls along some of London's less frequented streets. They regularly sell what purports to be high-quality tea, but is in fact merely dyed leaves of drab flavor.
Well, that's certainly unsavory behavior.
So, when one is presented with what appears to be black tea, one must be careful. Iris?
She's putting her goggles on.
I'm done ready, Hurdy!
Let us add a drop of my chemical to this cup of tea here. Do you see what happens?
It's turning black. It's turned completely black!
And what a foul odor it's giving off!
Indeed, the blacker the tea becomes and the more foul the odor, the better the tea is.
But now you cannot drink it, you idiot. Who will want to drink foul tea? Black, ink black, foul-smelling tea.
It would appear that this cup was a particularly fine Darjeeling.
Well, that's very ingenious, but what do we do with that black liquid now?
Why, dispose of it naturally. Surely you wouldn't like to drink it, would you?
There does seem to be a rather obvious problem with your new invention, Mr. Sholmes.
Hence why this chemical test is merely a test, my dear madam.
Right.
The point is, we are entering a new era of science. In the world of criminal investigation also.
Yes, forensic science! Ah, these are such exciting times!
I regularly engage in this scientific experimentation alongside my unofficial consulting detective work. The Airlock Sholmes method will be the foundation upon which modern investigative technique is based. This little tea indicant was a happy byproduct of my ongoing forensic science research.
Forensic science? I suppose I should find out more about that. Now we have Japanese people. With Mr. Natsume, who I'm currently defending, being Japanese as well as Mrs. Zato and myself, I felt it even more keenly in court today. For some reason, Lord Van Ziek seems to have an inherent disdain of the Japanese.
Indeed. It is an interesting observation.
Do you know something about it? Do you, Mr. Sholmes? ...
It was about 10 years ago that Baroque Van Ziek chose to enter the legal profession. However, before that time, the young man's closest companion hailed from the Empire of Japan.
No!
What the? Tell us more, Mr. Sholmes! What happened?
I believe I made it clear before. I'm unable to tell you anything about the affair.
Oh, but...
The veil will be lifted on the events of the past in due course, I have no doubt. For now, however, it is Mr. Mustache who is most deserving of your attention, I believe.
Forensic science. So, your T-test is not an example of forensic science?
Indeed it is! An essential tool in cases that hinges on the knowledge of whether some tea is of high or inferior quality.
Not a huge number of cases, then.
Perhaps a more practical example is required. Fingerprints? Not yet accepted in our court as evidence, I might add. Really, we are dragging our heels there!
Oh, I hadn't been heard of them until recently.
Which is partly why I undertake research in this field myself, of course.
Does that mean you're studying fingerprints, Mr. Sholmes?
There are others in that field already. and I abhor the company of inferior minds. No, what I'm researching is skin prints.
Skin prints?
A nomenclature of my own design, as this chemical agent makes it possible.
Show another vial of magenta fuchsia liquid.
It instantly reveals objects touched by whichever person is under investigation.
What?
Brilliant, Mr. Sharms!
As long as it doesn't turn everything completely odorous and black.
I assure you, my dear fellows, you will witness my forensic talents in action very soon indeed.
Well, I think we should go back to the scene and see if we can uncover any new clues.
That's the spirit, Runar! See you later!
Yes, until later.
No, Mr. Sharms, we're thinking you would come with us.
You were?
Yes, of course, you said so a moment ago. You said we'd witness your forensics talents in actions.
Ah, yes, I do recall saying something along those lines. But you go on ahead. I shall be sure to follow you a little later, in all likelihood. Probably. Maybe. Well, I might.
Your commitment astounds me.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Sharms. We eagerly await your arrival. Bye-bye, Runar. Bye, Susie.
Alright, we move. Miss Green's hospital bed. I guess the bed will now be occupied by Shamspear. The rat is still there. Miss Green's belongings are still there. 22nd of February, St. Bartholomew's Hospital, Recovery Ward.
What do you suppose is happening? It sounds like some sort of disturbance.
Yes, I hear angry voices. Oh, Shamspear is fighting with Olivia Green.
Be not angry, O ample lady. Verily, thou art mistaken.
Mistaken, my foot. You were looking at my painting.
The eye of man hath not heard, the ear of man hath not seen. 'Twas foul indeed, the poison that mustache villain gave at me. Forgive me, lady.
I wish that you would die from that poison.
God of mercy, ample lady, but thou seest, I have vigor still. Behold, by Shamspear dance. Ah! Hup, hup, ah! Hup, hup, ah!
He dances like that, jumps on foot, and then he puts his hands up to the sky to revel in the god of the sky.
This looks rather ominous, doesn't it?
And Novilla Green is upset and she's shaking.
Ah! Lo, 'tis the lawyer from the land whence riseth the sun. How now?
What are you doing here, Mr. Shamspear?
Marry, do I believe I am returned unto another ward?
He was looking, that's what he was doing, looking at my terrible work. Shamspear ...
Eastern fellow, so darkly clad. Faith, thy work in court this morning was wonderful. I do applaud thee.
Oh, well, thank you. Oh, he bends his scepter. But that doesn't mean things will go so wonderfully for you tomorrow, does it? Oh, he just lost his Shakespearean speech. Exclamation mark. Bends it back together. Oh, straightens it up.
Ah! Anon, exult!
Look at the crowded bows to the Mr. Shamspear might technically be the victim in this case. But there's definitely a lot more to it than that. It's very hard to pin the man down.
I'm so sorry, I'm such an awful person.
Oh, Miss Green, is everything alright?
Oh, yes, I mean, don't worry about me. They're about to discharge me, so I must be getting to leave now.
Oh, I see. Sato bows to Green.
With the lad, I think that you'll soon be well enough to go home, Miss Green. Oh dear, you're too kind. I don't deserve it.
And now she's sitting on the bed, packing her stuff. Yeah, we examined everything already, so... we can re-examine everything again if we want. I don't think it's gonna be fructuous an endeavor. Yeah, everything is still marked. Everything is still checked. The open window. Crack on the wall. Under the bed. No, there's nothing here. Let's move out. Mr. Shamspear's room. 22nd of February, Mr. Natsume's lodgings, ground floor. Oh, Gregson is here. I'm gonna go get my chips. Be right back. Yeah, today's flavor is regular. Like, usually I like salt and vinegar, but these days it seems like I cannot tolerate vinegar at all. So I'm gonna be opening this bag. And they're ready for some. Yeah, it's a quite a large bag. It's more than a family-sized bag. It's a 1 pound bag of chips. Okay. Oh, hello again, Inspector Gregson.
Ah, what are you doing here?
Well, we were hoping to have another look around, actually.
The lawyer representing the defendant has a right to examine the scene, as I'm sure you're aware.
Yes, I know the score.
Oh, yes, one other thing. The soap on the ledge outside the window, did you find it? With the tea in it?
Yeah, we found it all right. And there was a small amount of tea in it, as you said.
Oh, I knew it!
It's with the identification section of the yard now. They're looking into it. The results should be available later today.
That's wonderful news! Thank you!
Gregson, da-da-da.
Pretty impressive performance at court this morning, I must say. Sorry. Nothing. Forget it. Just make sure you don't disturb anything in here.
Okay, so Gregson is standing aside. Oh, now Sherlock Holmes decides to come along. He's expecting the suit. So what new do we have here? We have the windowsill. Yeah, no, it's blocked. The sun never shines in this room thanks to that depressing bricked-up window.
Yet, with enough determination, you can always remove the bricks to set some soap outside, can you?
That sounds like a very wise life lesson, Mr. Zato.
Only if you plan to follow a life of crime, Mr. Naruto.
Okay, now we can check on the tea. Ah, the ill-fated teacups from which the two men drank on the ill-fated night.
During their heated literary debate, yes.
Who's stronger, Romeo or Juliet? It would sound like it was quite a discussion, air quote.
Now that I think of it, I'm sure that the two lovers in the play ended their lives with poison. ...
That's fiction, Mr. Zato. Let's hope it stays that way. Oh, let's check the bar of soap.
So, it turns out that Mr. Shamspear wasn't eating the soap at all.
That's right. The mystery of why he had it on the plate whilst holding a fork in his hand is solved.
Yes, to prise its latest ice coin out of its mold. And in the process, he accidentally broke the bar of soap in two.
It certainly was hard to imagine, let alone deduced. Okay. Let's check the meter. If you ran out of change, you wouldn't even have any light, let alone heat. For the needy, London's winter can be very harsh.
That's true, but if you think about it, even the wealthy would find themselves freezing if they ran out of small change.
London winters can be very harsh for the forgetful too then. Frankly, I'm starting to wonder if Zato-san and I are going to make it to spring.
That's true, we don't even have a meter at Baker Street, let alone a gas stove.
Look how dark the stain on the floor is underneath the meter here.
Yes, from all the water dripping out after the ice coins melted, as you established in court this morning.
It's a very large and obvious stain, isn't it?
Mr. Shamspear must have used an awful lot of ice coins, I suppose.
It was an ingenious idea, I'll give him that. Okay, let's see. Wigs. Shells. Let's look left. Gregson is here. Let's talk to Gregson, see if he has anything to say.
Are you looking for new clues, Inspector?
On Lord Van Ziek's orders, yes. Don't come back till you got something for me, he says.
Oh dear, poor you.
Yeah, poor me, because you already searched every breeding nook and cranny in this place. I don't know what he expects, to be honest. Thank goodness for warm chips is all I can say.
Well, at least he's honest. Okay, so let's check Sherlock. Mr. Sholmes, what are you up to over there?
What a question indeed. Was it not your good self who asked me to attend the scene?
Oi! What are you doing here, Sholmes?
What are you up to over there? What are you doing here? Dear me, once a great detective, one is always under scrutiny, it seems.
Is now the time, Mr. Sholmes? Are you about to show us your forensic talent in action as you promised?
And he bows. With the greatest of pleasures, my dear madam.
Well, now he puts down his mask. What's all this? Spins around.
All this is precisely what you requested, Mr. Naruto. Sherlock Sholmes' sensational screen spree seeker gun.
Okay, this is a new song. Me likey.
Moments ago, I took a sample from the teacup that was used by the victim.
A sample from Mr. Shamspeare's cup?
Each individual leaves microscopic secretion on everything he or she touches. A sample of those secretion is all I need to produce this, a refined indicator solution. By liberally spraying the room with this chemical, everything the victim touches is instantly revealed with the aid of these goggles. Here, try them on.
He lends the mask to to Yonosuke, and now we see everything in blue.
There, now spray the chemical indicator about and all will be revealed.
Spray? How do you know? Well, how do I do that exactly?
A little press of X on the area, and if you're interested, is all that's required, like this.
Oh shit! What is that stuff? It's like fog! Guess what, everyone? It's the return of the Luminous spray minigame! Yay!
The suspension of the chemical indicator in a pressurized gas. It's the most efficient way to cover a large area.
Now we can see fingerprints on the hat, on the clothes, and on the mannequin.
That was another invention I discovered incidentally while I was developing this idea.
As you do.
Go ahead, try, my dear fellow. We may learn something interesting about the victim's movement on the night in question.
Well, there's nothing to lose, I suppose. Let us explore! Okay, let's go from left to right. This is fun! Oh. There's stain here. Stain on the clothes. There are fingerprints on the tea, yeah. As one would suspect. Oh! Look, there are dozens of handprints here. Yes, this fellow touched the edges of this painting a lot of times. Like a lot of times.
So there are a great many indeed. So much that it's hard to make out any one individual print, in fact.
Brrr, it sends a chill down my spine.
Perhaps he was leaning against the wall while he admired his picture?
Unlikely, I would say. It's a rather dull scene, after all.
And without wishing to state the obvious, you wouldn't generally admire a picture from such close quarters, I feel.
Oh, very true, Mr. Zato. It's a bit of a mystery, then. Okay. So, let's check. Okay, there's handprints on this stage. Handprints on the carpet. Handprints on the box. On the chairs, on the table, on the tea, on the spoon, on the plate. On the window, there's a lot around the window, as to be expected because he was manipulating the bricks. Let's check the floor. Oh, there are a lot of fingerprints on this one beam of floorboard. Oh, look at all this here.
Ah, yes, interesting. A multitude of the victim's handprints.
Why are there so many of them on the floor in this one spot?
Oh, perhaps he had a bad fall just here?
There's nothing obvious that he would have tripped over, though, is there?
I wonder. Personally, I haven't stumbled when there's nothing obvious to trip over.
I think that's something only a great detective would do, Mr. Sholmes.
Well, this is quite a puzzle. Handprints all over the floor.
Yes, there's no obvious explanation. Okay, I'm done. So there were only these two spots. Well, we sprayed Mr. Sholmes' amazing skin prints indicator all over this room, didn't we?
We did, but there are two places in particular that are of interest, I would say.
Oh, this floorboard can be removed. We can see a crack here.
The handprints on the floor there, and on the wall by the picture.
Oh, the handprints on the floor there and on the wall by the picture, you mean?
Yes, and I think the floor warrants closer investigation. It will be a moment.
Now Susato's trying to remove the floorboard. ...
Ah!
What is it, Miss Susato?
Look here, Mr. Naruto. One of the floorboards have popped out.
One of the... You mean... It's a secret hiding place.
Excellent work, Miss Susato. So, what do we have in here?
Oi! What are you lot doing? This is my job. Inspector Gregson.
Stand aside right this minute. It's my job to investigate here. No need, Inspector. You continue to dig in your portion of chips while we dig around under the floor here. You think you can't booger me off my food anyway, Cobb? A new bit of evidence is exactly what I need.
Now Gregson is removing the floorboard. Wow, a secret hiding place under the floor. What a find.
It's not a hiding place you can make use of in Japan. I don't think I could lift a straw tatami, man.
No, I know, but I never expected one of these wooden floorboards to move either. It's got me wondering about the wall over there, too. Aren't you curious?
Oh! I'll investigate at once.
Now, Susato is investigating the picture frame. Can she remove it?
There's nothing behind the picture, sadly, only the wall.
How disappointing.
But then how do you explain the handprints?
I really can't think of anyone who would have been touching the walls over and over in one place like that.
Click. What was that?
There you are, a print for you.
The photograph of the handprint on the wall has been entered into the court record. Oh, so he put his mask on and he took a print. A photograph of the handprints on the wall. Traces of handprints on the wall discovered using the skin print seeker gun. There are multiple prints on either side of a hanging picture. Let me check it thoroughly in the court record. Oh, thank you very much. This invention can make prints too. All right, new evidence. Okay, so there are many single fingerprints on the mirror, but these are full handprints, dozen on each side of the frame. Yeah, nothing. Okay. Now then. Well, I wonder if Inspector Gregson has found anything under the floor there.
I'm desperate to know.
So am I.
So am I. Alright, let's look at Gregson. Examine. Oh. Oh, never mind. I'd love to know if there's anything underneath the floorboard there.
Allow me to ask Gregson now. After all, we've been acquainted. We're well acquainted. Inspector Gregson? Really, it's been too long.
What is it, Sholmes?
I thought perhaps you might show me what you found there, seeing as we're such good friends.
We're not friends.
No, I suppose we're not. A dismal failure! Oh well, that's right.
Yes, I heard. I killed to know what was under that floorboard. Gregson, da. Alright then, fair's fair. What? You didn't discover the hiding place after all.
I suppose I should at least fill you in.
Really, Inspector?
Thank you. Do it quickly, my dear fellow. If there's one thing I know about this man, is that he blows with the wind, as fickle as the weather.
Oi! Stop making fun of to be some kind of... Stop making me out to be some kind of nut! There were 3 items under the floor there. A newspaper clipping, a photographic print, and a tin box. Now, what do you want to know? Newspaper clipping. Looks like this was cut up for the paper about 3 months ago. It's about a convict who got sick and died while he was serving time up in Manchester. How terrible. It made the headlines down there in London as well. The bloke had been sentenced to death, you say, but nature got him first.
Oh my goodness, he's committed to capital offense?
Man by the name of Selden. Nasty piece of work, I must say, into burglaries and murder. They say the hoard he knocked off was worth about £1,000. A hoard? Of treasure, you mean? Jewelry and the like. But he's hidden it somewhere, and no one knows where. And now he's dead. The papers loved it, of course. £1,000 lost en route to hell. Or some such was the headline.
Does it not strike you, though? Why such an article would be so carefully ensconced under the floor?
Gregson, I suppose now you mention it, it does seem a bit odd. Perhaps I'll go over the paperwork we got on Selden back at the yard to see if I can turn anything up.
The capital offender article has been entered into the court record. Newspaper article about Selden, a criminal sentenced to receive a death penalty. However, he died of illness in prison while his loot remained undiscovered. Let me check the court record before asking about anything else. Okay, I cannot 3D this thing. Condemned criminal dies of natural cause in prison. Manchester's Strange Ways prison announced the death of convicted murder of burglar Selden by natural causes in the early hours of this morning. He had been suffering with fever since the end of October. Alerted by the shouts of his fellow cellmate, medical staff arrived to find him already dead before his capital punishment could be carried out. Convicted murder and burglar. Selden. Okay, there's a crude photograph of a fat man. That was probably him. Photographic print. Oh, it's Garrideb! And the guy on the painting that Olive Green made. So this is the photograph I found. Looks reasonably recent to me.
Yes.
Yes, it would appear that I've been taken on the streets in front of the house here.
And the gentleman on the left is Mr. Garrydeb, the landlord, of course.
But who's the young man on the right? Mr. Garrydeb's son, perhaps?
Perhaps. You can take that print if you like.
Really? Are you sure?
We can presume, therefore, that the yard already knows. The identity of the young fellow, that is.
Oh, is that true?
Well, it's too bad if we do. Unfortunately for you lot, leaking information isn't one of my pastimes. My dear Inspector, if I may be so bold as to point something out, pastimes are for one's leisure, but this is for work.
Gregson, ...
All the more reason I'm not telling you, Holmes! A dismal failure!
Yes, I heard. The hidden photo has been entered into the court record. Alright, let's check the... I wonder why a photograph like this was hidden under the floor. Okay, let's see if we can flip it. No, I cannot flip it. It's another photograph. Yeah, Garrydeb, nothing new. Holding his pipe. Carrying his medal for some reason. On his nightgown. And yeah, the guy looks like he's acquainted to Olive Green. He has the same eyes, but his facial structure is oval. And he's carrying a satchel with painting supplies, different kind of brushes, and scrolled folded paper coming out of the satchel. So we have to come back to St. Bartholomew's to compare it with the picture and ask Olive Green. Alright. Or maybe Mr. Shamspeare himself isn't in it.
Photographic prints are still rare treasures in the East End. I imagine Mr. Garrydeb was rather delighted to have been immortalized. He probably made a proud present of it.
Okay, next we have the tin box. This one I hope it's a 3D evidence. Yeah. What does it say on it? Kafka? It has a lid.
Now this tin box looks interesting, doesn't it? Might I suggest, Inspector, that you opened it? If you were to find something inside that reveals the truth behind this case, I wouldn't be in the least surprised. Yeah, funnily enough, I've already had a look. It's completely empty. What? Shamspeare? Give us a clue, man!
You didn't even have the chance to utter a word, Mr. Narodon. But anyway, at least we found out what's inside the box.
Yes, thin air. It's empty. Rather like how I feel inside. Is there nothing more to this box then? I wonder. Can I manipulate the box? Oh, they're not even giving it to me. Oh, it's Wagahai.
Meow.
It's coming out from the stage play. Wagahai, little fellow, coming out of the made of plank castle. You were sleeping behind the stage.
Oh look, it's that lovely kitty cat. What was his name?
It's Mr. Natsume, isn't it? I don't think we ever asked him, actually. What do we call it? Wagahai. You know, like Mr. Natsume refers to himself in Japanese. Wagahai, like I am cat.
I wonder how we got it here. Clever cat. Wonderful! Well then, Wagahai, here's something delicious I bought for you for the cat's meat man.
Yeah, she brought food. Oh wait, eat the little red meat. Eat the little red meat, Mr. Wagahai.
Oh, she's eating! Yum, 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 yum. Yum, 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 yum.
Cat is eating, it's cute! Stop being so cute! Okay, now the cat is sleeping.
Hee I couldn't be happier now, look.
I just hope we can bring some happiness to his owner, too. Can we examine the cat? Yes, we can! Stretch. Oh, he has a nice ribbon. That was a cheeky little meow, Wagahai.
Oh, but he's so adorable! I could sit and watch him forever!
Oh, I think he may not appreciate that after a while, and we have an investigation to get back to. Yeah, he's a distraction. Stop being such a distraction, Mr. Wagahai. Are we done here? Bar of soap? We cannot even check behind the. I cannot even check the painting. I want to check the frame of the painting. We're done talking to Gregson. You know what? We have to leave. We're gonna go back to Miss Green's hospital. Ah, the music changed. Oh. Examine. Where's the photograph that I see? This one. Look, there's a photograph in this frame here.
Oh yes, a picture of a young gentleman.
He looks to be about the same age as Miss Green, I would say.
Perhaps the young woman special someone, do you think? My, Mr. Naruto! I didn't think you had a sense for matters of the heart!
Not in the least. I sincerely said the first thing I thought of. Oh, it's the same thing that he said last time. But now we can talk to Olivia. So, are you feeling more like yourself today, Miss Green?
I am, thank you. I mean, people do recover from ordeals like this, don't they? Even people like me.
Well, yes, it finally was an ordeal, wasn't it?
As far as I was concerned, I was just walking around in the snow one evening, minding my own business. And then, completely out of the blue, I was struck in the back by a knife and collapsed unconscious for days. Of course, when I finally woke up again yesterday, the whole business has been cleared up already.
What a terrible week it's been for you!
Oh no, I'm sure I'm very lucky, really. I'll look back on this fondly.
Really?
Anyway, I must be getting my things together now, so I'm ready to be discharged.
Oh yes, of course. Sorry to take up your time when you're obviously busy. Okay, so now... No, not this, not this. She seems to be grasping the key that she's carrying around her neck. I cannot present anything? No! This is bullshit! Okay, let's move. Briar Road. 22nd of February, Briar Road. The soap is still outside, great. Examine. Oh, it says I already checked. So no new clues here. Sucks. Garydeb's room. Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about Mr. Garydeb, about the picture. Okay, that's the angle they're gonna take. 22nd of February, Mr. and Mrs. Garydeb's room.
Mr. Garydeb appears to be out.
Oh well, I suppose we'll just have to come back again later. Crap. We probably shouldn't poke around in here while Mr. Garydeb is out. Prison. Alright. 22nd of February, local prison, cell number 9.
Oh, Mr. Natsume is back.
So he is. Mr. Natsume, hello. He's turning his back on us. Then he comes closer to the cell.
I am a cat.
Sorry?
I don't know who Mr. Natsume is, or Sherlock Holmes. I don't know about courts or trials or Old Baileys. I'm a cat. That's what I am. Just a cat. Meow.
Mr. Naruto is trying to escape from reality.
I'm a cat! Trying to? You already asked completely. So, what is your name then?
As yet I have no name.
Mr. Naruto isn't fully thought of his new identity yet. Maybe it's not too late to bring him back to reality.
Do you think you could open your eyes for us, Mr. Natsume? ... And he does. Adjusting his bow, looking behind his back.
I am not a cat.
It worked! He's back in the real world!
What's going on? What's going to
Come of me! No! Don't answer that! It's obvious!
Oh, my accursed soul is never going to escape this accursed fate.
Mr. Natsume, no! The smooth proceeding in court proved that there's hope.
Yes, yes. Locum student Mr. Naruto Esquire was brilliant, but...
The Reaper is omnipresent in court, in my logics!
Here, there, everywhere.
What's he looking straight at me for? I think perhaps there are some things we should discuss.
Oh, yes, yes, we must.
Okay, so now we can converse with him. The morning trial.
In my whole life have I ever been so moved as I was today?
No!
Of course, if I cast my mind back, there were perhaps one or two other occasions that moved me before.
But if I just blocked those out, then today, being in that courtroom was...
It was the most moving experience
of my life!
Local student Mr. Naruto Esquire!
You're too kind.
Scotland Yard found the remaining tea just as we deduced and are analyzing it as we speak.
There's nothing wrong with that tea. They won't find a drop of poison in it. That's a...
solemn, sworn, Sosuke certainty.
Tell me, did you both drink the tea at the same time that night?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes, most definitely. Remember?
Drink tea while it's hot! We both poured it down our throat like it was a hot bath for our bellies.
And at the time, you were both completely fine.
As shown by the fact that Mr. and Mr. Shamspear then engaged in the Romeo and Juliet match. Or I suppose the focus of tomorrow's proceeding will be how the poison was taken by the victim then. Mr. Shamspear? That rotten Shamspear! What have I ever done to him? You don't recall him taking issue with you over anything you've done recently?
I've been holed up in my room, immersed in books.
I don't recall anything. Anything at all. Right.
But what I don't understand is why you didn't let me know sooner.
Let you know what, Mr. Natsume?
About the soap, of course. What else?
Oh dear. Are you struggling with such a meager stipend?
Of course I am. If I had money, I would have chosen to live an accursed existence in such an accursed lodgings. Oh yes, you said it's because the place is cursed that it's so cheap, didn't you? Exactly. Especially the room that I rent. The spirit of that capital offender who lived there still haunts the place. And it's trying to kill me! Oh, he's talking about Selden. Capital offender?
Might I ask, local student Mr. Naruto Esquire, that the next time you visit me,
you bring scores of super soft soap. Can we? Yes, we can present. Let's give her the capital offender article. Oops, not this one. Here. What's this? It's a newspaper's cutting that we found in Mr. Shamspear's room.
Huh? Ah, so he knew, did he?
Sorry?
About this man, Selden, a convicted killer,
and the evil spirit
behind the curse that afflicts my lodgings.
What? He's already taken one young man's life, and now?
He's trying to take the life of another, a miserable mustache, much malign Japanese man.
Mr. Natsume, if you know something plays, you must tell us. Tell us everything you can about this evil spirit. Okay, back to conversation. Capital offender, Selden.
The truth is, I didn't know the details myself until very recently.
That Selden man was arrested about a year ago now. And at the time, he was hiding out in lodgings at Mr. Garydeb's house. What? You live where you do now? That's right. Yes, exactly where I live now. In my very room.
Oh my, your room was previously occupied by a criminal found guilty of capital offense?
But before his sentence could be carried out, he died in prison. That was 3 months ago now. And that's when it started.
The curse. The curse.
What really is
this curse you keep mentioning, Mr. Natsume?
It's already caused one death. A few months after the criminal passed away in prison. A man died in the room. The man who rented it after Selden, in fact. The poor lodger. He was found dead in mysterious circumstances. The room was locked from the inside.
Locked from the inside? Exactly like the case we're dealing with now. So what's the convict's curse? So that's the convict's curse, is it?
Yes, well, that was the start of it.
The convict's curse. You know what I think? I think that the whole time this is Shamspear trying to spook Soseki by pretending there was a ghost. I think Shamspear as a hand in everything. In all the Soseki trouble, Shamspear was behind it all. I have no idea how, but I believe this is what I think. I also think that probably the man in the picture is Selden. Next to Mr. Garydeb. But Herlock says that this picture was taken recently. And 1 year ago is not that recent. Maybe for sure Herlock. But I have no idea what would be his crime if he was found guilty. That must be not be made by a proper prosecutor. Anyway, the convict's curse.
Do you have any idea how the lodger before you passed away, Mr. Natsume?
The official cause of death was asphyxia. When they discovered the body, the room was full of gas.
There was a leak. Gas?
I only found out after I signed the lease. When Mr. Garrideb came to tell me later, I couldn't stop myself trembling. In fact, if I had known beforehand, I'd probably have been too scared to take the room. Landlord's lease, luckily legal.
Lucky for Mr. Garrideb, maybe, but not so lucky for poor Mr. Natsume. And now you believe this curse is affecting you?
It is. At first, I just felt as though I was being watched all the time.
And then you talked about having nightmares, didn't you?
The end. The dead are trying to take me with them. They come for me to try to suffocate me. Just when I'm struggling to breathe, I wake up. And the room
is as cold as ice!
Why is your room so cold?
London winters are too cold to bear without heating and on overnight. But for some reason, even though I light the stove before I climb into bed at night, the pilot light always goes out and the room fills with gas.
But that's terrible. That's exactly the same situation as what led to the previous occupant's death. Oh, okay, so there's a problem with the gas lines. There's actually a problem with the gas lines. The pilot dies. Gas filled the room. He's being asphyxiated with the carbon monoxide, filling the room. They said he died of unexplainable death. Well, maybe it was unexplainable at the time, but yeah, that was basically monoxide poisoning. So there's something in the pipes that's dangerous in this room. That room is too dangerous. That room must never be lit. Mr. Garrideb must do something about those gas pipes. And then there's what happened to Mr. Shamspeare last night, like he was mysteriously poisoned. There's clearly more to that incident that can be explained by a curse, though.
Whatever can be the cause of all these strange happenings in Mr. Garrideb's rooms?
Okay, let's see. Let's show him the picture, the hidden photograph. Mr. Natsume, it's nothing much, but...
Oh, it's been too long since I offered a present with that delightfully humble etiquette of our homeland.
What?
Oh, you're too kind. I accept it gladly.
Sorry, but I wasn't trying to give it to you, actually. Okay, so this doesn't work. Handprints on the wall. Same thing. No dialogue. What would they want me to do here? I cannot examine, so I have to move. Let's go back to Narodo's Ego Consultancy and then look around. Technically, I haven't examined my new room yet. Look, a spade! Or is it a shovel? Perhaps we should put this spade away somewhere.
That's not a spade, Naruto-san! That's a shovel!
No, shovels are for digging. That's for scooping out loose material. It's a spade.
No, spades are for digging. That's for scooping for loose material. It's a shovel.
Well, it doesn't really matter, does it?
You're so right, Naruto-san. We mustn't quarrel with such trifles.
On reflection then, I'll leave the spade where it is.
Shovel. I think that's for the best. You may get a shovel when we're working in the garden.
This is the empty aquarium. These tanks are for keeping sea creatures. They're called aquariums, and they were all the rage in London at one time, apparently.
Yes. The English are so clever, coming up with the idea of having Ocean's life on display in the home.
And it means you always have an emergency midnight feast on hand, too.
I'm not sure that's really the idea.
This is Susato's room. I heard that there's another room behind that door.
Yes, it's my bedroom, Naruto-san, as you well know.
Shall I help you unpack your things?
That's very kind, but no thank you.
Your luggage looks very heavy. Are you sure I can't help you move it?
That's very kind, but really, no thank you. A young maiden's private chamber is a place of bittersweet secrets, you know.
The only secrets I have is a 5-yen banknote in the backside of my Daruma doll. Yeah, we're done here. Show 'em sweet. Okay, we can explore the fireplace. I do like this fireplace. It's one of the best things I've seen since we arrived in the country, in fact. Although I do yearn for Japanese kotatsu. Putting your legs on the warm blanketed table is so comforting.
Do be careful, Mr. Naruto. Don't mistakenly put your feet into the fire, will you? You'd suffer double burns, you know.
Da-da-da. Oh, I worry sometimes about how Susato-san sees me. It's curious how this enormous metal chest is being used as a coffee table. And even more curious to think that Iris' father knows about Mr. Shome's cases are inside it.
You mustn't look in here, weirdo! Those notes are secret between Daddy and me!
And Mr. Shome's somehow in on the secret?
Hurley tends to forget, you see, as soon as he solved a case, in fact. Once when he read one of my manuscripts, we had a terrible argument about it. Never have I solved such a case, he said. He was absolutely adamant! Sometimes I wonder if he's from another planet, don't you?
Oh. Yeah, sometimes I wonder if he's from another planet. Don't you?
Yeah, meh.
Look at all these mementos of Mr. Shome's past case. You know, Mrs. Sato's eyes still sparkle every time she lays eyes on them.
But yours don't, do they, Runo?
Well, I have read The Adventures of Erlock Shoals now by order of Mrs. Sato. But the trouble is, having seen the real thing in action, somehow the stories don't quite ring true to me.
Well, he does solve the cases in the end.
I suppose so. Perhaps there's more to the great detective than meets the eye. Oh yes, this is where you note down ideas, isn't it, Iris? So, what's on the blackboard today? Buck up, Bruno. What is this?
Oh, I'm just playing around with ideas for the title of the next month's installment. Another idea I had was the Beryl Coronet. I'm really torn about which one to use. What do you think, Bruno?
Anything but buck up Bruno, obviously.
I suppose you're right. I tell you what, I'll surprise you with it. You have to wait until next month and see.
Ugh, so many sleepless nights. Yeah. Oh, you can see Iris actually typing on her typewriter. I can see the tea set. It always strikes me how pretty and neatly arranged this tea set is.
It's my favorite one. In fact, I think it's high time for afternoon tea. Wait there! I'll fetch the special blend I prepared for today.
Oh, Iris, you do love your tea, don't you? She looks so happy at the prospect.
And after you drink it, I'll collect some experimental data, if that's alright.
She cocks out her gun. Just what is she about to make me drink? Here's a basket. This is her herbal set, I think. That's a charming little white shelf and full of charming little bottles too.
Oh yes, but don't touch any of those. They might explode.
Ah, a charming shelf full of charming bottles full of charring ingredients. Charring ingredients.
You know, Hurley mistakenly drank from one of them the other day.
What? And how?
I think he was lucky though, he hasn't exploded yet. Chemistry can be a very hazardous occupation. Don't you agree?
Oh, it's living with Mr. Sholmes that's the hazardous occupation, if you ask me. If I remember correctly, this large and imposing lump of iron is called a typewriter.
To think that every single one of the adventures of Sherlock Holmes blossomed from this very machine. Ah, it's such a dreamy thought.
I actually had a go on it the other day. The metal bars that move when you hit the keys got all tangled up somehow, and that made Iris angry.
Mr. Naruhodo, you're supposed to press one button at a time, not all together at once. You're ruining my dreamy thoughts. Please don't do that again.
Oh, no, I made Susato sound angry as well. Okay, can we talk to Iris? Iris?
Can't talk, too busy typing. Tap, 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 tap. I'm working. Tap, 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 tap. I'm writing a novel.
Oh, that's incredible concentration that is.
I found it quite remarkable how she can focus on so many different things at once.
Perhaps I should try drinking more of her Heber tea.
The blend third from the right would be good for you, Reno.
Oh, Iris?
Yeah, I was listening to you all talking behind my back. What do you want? Leave me alone.
This girl is destined for great things, I'm sure. Iris?
Shut up! I'm working! Shut the fuck up.
There's all sort of these shelves, chemistry apparatus, books, papers, and lots of things I've never seen before. It's all heaped up so high I can't help feeling that the whole lot is going to topple at any moment.
It looks as though it might topple, and yet it doesn't. The epitome of Mr. Sholmes' brilliance.
I don't get it. As it happens, I'm quite well practiced when it comes to stacking shelves myself. Just the other day, the shelf in my office finally gave way under the strain, though.
It looks as though it might topple, and it does. Yes, the epitome of your disarray.
I really don't get it. Yeah, you can see, I think Einstein says something like, you can tell the genius from looking at the disorders of one's desk. So, as you can see here, Herlock Sholmes is a genius. So now we can see Stradivarius. Oh, this is Mr. Sholmes' famous violin. The one he found being sold for a song at a pawnbrokery. What was it called again? Shodi something?
Oh yes, this wonderful instrument features in The Adventures of Herlock Sholmes. It's a world-famous Stradivarius.
What?
Stradivarius, Mr. Naruhodo.
Stragavor...
Are you even trying now?
We'll come back to this another time, I think. Stradigovarius? This enormous machine takes up the entire desk, doesn't it? It's really very imposing.
Ah, Hurley's great analyscope. Yes, it can analyze anything at all, you know.
And Herlock Sholmes' great analytoscope. But I've never seen anyone actually using it.
Oh, well, it's his invention, so I don't know how to operate it.
Why don't you get it to analyze its own operation then?
Oh, Rudo! You're razor sharp today, aren't you?
Okay.
Alright, I don't think we'll find anything useful here. Let's go back to Miss Green's. Rat is still there. Mannequin is still there. Hey, there's what do you mean nothing particular of note? There's a canvas that fell on the floor, and that doesn't strike you as something strange, something unusual?
No.
No. Nothing particular of note. Alright, let's go back to Mr. Garrideb's house. Maybe he's back from his little excursion. Oh, 22nd of February, Mr. and Mrs. Garrideb's room. He's here! Oh, you're here now, Mr. Garrideb. Yeah, he's stirring his tea with the mouthpiece of the pipe. Right, bully business is it for me, you know, getting out and about. Were you at the Old Bailey by any chance? Naturally, fate of my lodgings hanging in the balance out of all that. Not a trial to miss. Oh, I see. He just got out. Yeah, he got out of the court, and it took him all this time to come back to his house because he's crippled. Even if he takes a cab, he slows. He walks with half the speed one would usually do. The fate of what's exactly been dubbed your haunted lodgings? Yes. Of course, the place has caught quite a stir around the capital on more than one occasion already. As the old haunted lodgings or some such. Ah, well, at least he knows. Makes you wonder what the blazes is going on, don't you know?
Yes, I'm sure it does.
And Herlock Sholmes is with us.
In fact, thinking back to Mr. Natsume's other trial just 2 days ago, you were at the Old Bailey then as well, weren't you? Testifying with your wife about what happened?
Stopped outside the prison on the way home, in fact. Beastly business. Oh, I see. Sitting on the tea, standing up. So, what brings you to my haunted abode today, eh? Alright, let's go straight to the point.
Look at this photograph!
Mr. Garrideb, could I ask you to look at this photograph? Is that your son who's with you there? Oh, no, not at all. He was a lodger here once. Duncan Ross was his name. Duncan Ross. Duncan Ross. A street photographer happened to be passing, so I asked him to take a shoot. Just for kicks, really.
Was he by any chance the lodger before Mr. Natsume?
Yes, that's right. Ah, the young gentleman who died in the room in mysterious circumstances. Just what Mr. Mustache was waiting for, one might say. Yes, young Duncan lived in the room at the top of the first flight of stairs before that Japanese chap.
But after Selden. Would you mind telling us a little more about him? Your lodgings, your lodgers, and the lodger's death.
Some fishy fellow from the Far East and a failed actor chap of questionable character, eh? Yes, the house does seem to have become something of a magnet for rum fellows of late. Thanks to that bally curse!
The convict's curse, you mean?
Ah, heard the stories, have you? The rotten scoundrel was arrested here, then the next chap in the room goes and kills over. Then there was that woman who dropped dead just outside on the street, not to mention the actor yesterday. And am I next? Should I be worried? Oh well, can't help but get to the collywobbles, can't you?
When you say the woman dropped dead outside on the street, do you mean Miss Green? Because Miss Green was stabbed by the knife?
Yeah, because Miss Green was stabbed by the knife and Mr. Shamspeare was poisoned last night. They didn't kick the bucket. They're not dead. They are both very much alive still.
Yes, well, so is that blasted convict's curse, it seems. Personally, I should be quite content with such lodgings. A bath, a toilet, a fireplace, a fascinating history. Why, it sounds like the lap of luxury.
I'm not so sure about that.
Well, there's no bath or toilet included and no fireplace either.
But you do look out for your tenants, do you? By watching the rise and fall of the flames in your gas lamps up here?
Yes, never hurts to keep an eye on things, in case there are any mishaps or such like. I think you had your mishaps already, sir.
That's not helpful, Mr. Sholmes.
Heavens forgive me, the word just came to my lips.
Your lodgers.
Some fishy fellow from the Far East and a failed actor chap of questionable character, eh?
Wait, I think I selected something else. There's no need for that, Mr. Garrideb. Okay. I was worried for a minute.
That's right, Mr. Natsume. Mr. Natsume is in no way fishy.
He is undeniably peculiar, however.
Is it right that he took the vacancy immediately after the previous tenant passed away?
Oh yes, that's right. I asked the estate agent to find someone and he popped up the very same day. Never come across a chap so keen for a place with a background, as it were.
I don't think it was the room's background he was keen on so much as the cheap rent, actually.
So, how long was Mr. Shamspeare been lodging under your roof?
That failed actor chap? Let me see. Oh, of course. Yes, it's been 3 months now. Quite sure of it.
Only 3 months? He's quite new here too, then.
And to what do you owe your certainty in that regard, Mr. Garrideb, if I might ask? Well, it was that Selden scoundrel, as it happens.
Selden? The convict, you mean? So Selden and Shamspear are some kind of connection then. Shamspear's tendency.
That convict chap, Selden, passed away in the clink 3 months ago now, you see. Some malady or other.
Yes, we've seen the report from the newspaper at the time.
Well, it was only 3 days later that the tragedian showed his face, the actor fellow.
Really?
Yes, I remember it quite distinctly.
Flashback. 'Tis small, this world we inhabit. Pretty landlord, hear my request. I, the humble Shamspear, do desire to take thy room on the middle floor offer erewhile for rent.
Terribly sorry and whatnot, but that won't be possible. Already I have a lodger on the middle floor. Ground floor's room vacant though.
Nothing can be made out of nothing. Let me repeat, mine will undo thee.
Those girl must be muffling your ears. The room on the middle floor is taken. It's ground floor or nothing.
He's so persistent on wanting the middle floor. Very well. We have an accord.
Glad to hear it. Welcome to Briar Road.
Lo, a Shamspear dance to celebrate. Hey, 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 hey.
That looks like a Fortnite dance, but if it's not a Fortnite dance, it shall be one soon. From what I heard in court today, it sounds like the chap was thieving gas. And he was 3 months in arrears with the rent, too. Yes. The fellow was a bally player, alright.
He never paid the rent?
Thank you for your candor, Mr. Garrideb. We are most grateful. By way of appreciation, allow me to say 1 or 2 words. Give me my robe, put on my crown. I have immortal longings in me.
What's happened to you?
Ah, Shakespeare, my dear fellow, one of his famous lines. I wish to divulge my own learning on the subject, for I have a turn for literature too, you know.
Perhaps you could turn your attention to more apt lines then? Okay, the lodger's dead.
Yes, Duncan Ross. Young chap was attending art school, had to work to pay for it, mind. Moved into the middle floor room about a year ago after that criminal Sandon was arrested. Young students are always on the hunt for rooms with a history behind them.
So there is really something in Natsume's room. There really is. Shamspear's one in the middle, but he got the ground floor. So, as soon as Duncan Ross deceased, Natsume just happened to bump into it and take it. Shamspears didn't have time to move in. Huh. I'm sensing a motive. Alright, he's getting more and more sus by the minute. At first, I accuse the guy from the gas company to poison the tea from outside. But we're gonna have a confirmation as soon as we're gonna have the analysis result saying that the tea is fine. If the tea is fine, that means that the poison is in the gas pipes. And it's carbon monoxide poisoning. And since carbon monoxide poisoning doesn't leave any outside sign of poison, it looks like, oh, he died of natural causes. Mysterious natural causes. No.
Young students are always on the hunt for rooms with a history behind them.
A history for cheap rent? Maybe, yes.
Yes, well anyway, it was one morning about a month ago now. Hadn't quite worked on the old trick of watching the gas lamp to see what my lodger was up to at the time. So sadly I was rather tardy to discover what had happened. Smell of gas that alerted me it was... Oh yes, synonymous with the smell of death. Called the police straight away, of course, and the officer kicked the door off his hinges. But once they got inside, we all bully collapsed.
Because of the gas?
Yes, room was full of it. No air at all. Stove must have gone out while the poor chap was sleeping in his bed.
So Mr. Ross suffocated to death.
Of course, the police gave me a sound tickling off because the gas pipes were so old and all that. Can't tell you how much it sends me back to have the lot replaced all over the house.
But even after you had all that work done, Mr. Natsume says the same thing. That the stove goes out at night whilst he's asleep in bed.
Well, that's the Bally curse, the convict's curse. I've done my duty as a landlord now.
Someone's feeling defensive. Yeah, he's crunching his pipe.
Ah, that reminds me actually.
Yes?
About young Duncan, the night before the poor chap perished. He's been writing a letter of affection to our young lady.
A love letter, you mean?
Yes, where did I put it now? Let's see. Here it is. I left it on my desk. If you'll excuse me, let me see now. What does it say? To my most beautiful and charming sweetheart.
Do you think that we should be reading such a personal piece of correspondence?
My dear Miss Sato, this is precisely how I preface my reading with, if you'll excuse me.
I will not excuse you, Mr. Sherms, no!
Sadly, he didn't address it though. So I have no means of delivering the thing. Rather sad, really.
Oh, I see. That's going to play on my mind.
But really, the identity of Mr. Ross's sweetheart has no bearing on the case? I think we should leave well alone.
Yes, I suppose you're right.
Indeed, the intended recipient's address is missing, however. There is a name attributed to the man's most beautiful and charming sweetheart.
Mr. Sherm, please, I've already had to chastise you about this once.
My undying love to you, my colorful darling, Olive Green.
Olive Green? The woman was plunged into a coma after a knife plunged into her back outside this house 5 days ago. The victim of the last case Toshiki-san was in court for, who regained consciousness only yesterday. Is it just chance that her name has come up now? Could it possibly be a mere coincidence?
Mr. Naruto, whatever can this mean?
Reading personal correspondence can have its merits, you see, Miss Sato. Ha ha! King me!
Okay, now we can leave. Miss Green hospital bed, finally. Ah, there it is. She's gone. Her things are still there, but 22nd of February, St. Bartholomew's Hospital Recovery Ward.
Mr. Naruto, I've just finished speaking with the doctor. It seems Miss Green is well enough to be discharged at last.
This is good news, but hopefully just before she leaves.
Ah!
What is it? Olive is there. She's about to drink something. Miss Green! There was an open bottle and there was a note, and when she realized what she was holding, she's now hiding everything behind her back. What was that? She clearly just hid something behind her back.
Oh, no. One moment. I'll be with you in a jiffy.
Okay. Okay, she put the bottle and the note on the stool.
Oh, hello everyone. What are you all doing here? The doctor has said I can be discharged, so I'm just getting my things together.
Miss Green, what were you just doing?
Oh, nothing. Nothing really. I was just about to take some medicine the doctor prescribed for me, that's all.
Well, we were hoping to have another quick chat with you if that's all right.
Oh, I don't really have anything else to tell you.
All right, she's definitely behaving strangely. Let's see if we can coax something out of her. All right, now I can present her shit. I need to talk to the landlord first. This is so linear. Yeah, hidden photograph. Miss Green, we were hoping to ask you about someone. Mr. Duncan Ross? You knew him, didn't you? Oh! He faints? Oh shit! Is that purple? Okay, so she fainted on the floor. She knocked down the bottle, the open blue bottle. It fell on the floor, and some purple liquid looking the same color as blood and Danganronpa came out of it. But it's not blood, because here it's not the world of Danganronpa. It's not neon pink. But yeah, neon pink liquid poured out of the medicine bottle. Oh no, I'm so sorry. The medicine bottle fell down when she did.
Oh, Miss Green, are you alright?
Now she's standing up, still clasping the key. She's hanging from her neck with her hand. I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to startle you like that.
No, it's alright. I just wasn't expecting it. But how do you know about Duncan?
Mr. Ross has been writing a letter when he passed away. The landlord found it in his room. It was a very personal letter to you.
Oh. It was at the art school. It was where I met Duncan a year ago now. He was working to fund his studies. He dreamt of becoming a professional artist one day.
And the two of you became romantically involved?
Yes, that's right. We were very much in love. We were engaged to be married, actually. That's why he decided to move into a cheaper roof to save money for the wedding.
And that's what led him to Mr. Garridebs.
Yes, he told me he'd found the worst but cheapest room in the entire East End. And then, 1 month ago, that's when it happened.
Oh, we're so terribly sorry, Miss Green.
Well, so in the past now, I suppose.
Poor Miss Green. She looks desperately sad.
I was starting to think that's just her look. But now I see that she has every reason to feel the universe is against her. Let's see, will she react? No, I don't think she's gonna react to the clipping. Miss Green, about this.
Oh, could you just hold that there for a moment? Don't move.
Sorry?
No. The aesthetics are all wrong.
Is it wrong with what I... Is it wrong that I feel so thoroughly rejected? Like, she wanted him to pose with the evidence at hand, and she wanted to paint, but then she said, no, it's not gonna work. Hospital discharge. It's wonderful news that you're going to be discharged, Miss Green.
Oh yes, I mean, thank you. Once people are better, the hospital staff don't want them lingering and wasting space. Not people like me anyway. So I don't think I should be keeping anyone waiting. I probably should stand around and chat.
Oh, she suddenly seems to be in the mood to talk, that's for sure.
I do hope you won't think I'm being rude, but would you mind leaving me in peace now? I have to leave the hospital soon.
Oh, I'm so sorry. We didn't mean to hold you up.
Of course.
We'll be on your way. Mr. Naruto!
Surely you're not about to leave. That's quite out of the question.
What? Mr. Sholmes? I didn't realize you were here.
But of course I was, my dear fellow. I'm watching intently from the shadows as always.
Well, make your presence known next time.
Mr. Sholmes, what's this about?
Oh, fuck! I just realized. The rat put its head inside of the bottle and he died. She was about to commit suicide. She was about to drink the poison. Oh, fuck. Maybe that's why, Sholmes intervened.
Something which occurs to me with some regularity, Mr. Zato, is this. Why do detective insist on such an ex post facto modus operandi? Why solve a case after it's happened, instead of preventing a case before it happens? That is what sets a great detective apart.
What do you mean?
There is a case waiting to happen under our very nose, Mr. Naruto. So let us avert disaster. Let us prevent this case from ever happening with nothing but careful observation.
Alright.
All the clues you need are set before you. You need only to look, and you cannot fail to see.
You can do it, Mr. Naruto. I know you can.
Let's examine. It's definitely feels as though this card must be relevant. I mean, when we first arrived, Miss Green was standing with it in her hand in what can only be described as a very tense atmosphere.
Yes. It may very well be related to whatever incident Mr. Sholmes believed what was about to happen here. Perhaps we should ask Miss Green about it.
And then we have the bottle on the floor with the nose of the rat in the bottle. That mouse seems to be dead. Look, I didn't notice it there before, did you?
I think perhaps it drank the medicine that spilled out of the bottle. But that's the bottle that Miss Green was about to drink from where we arrived.
Dot dot dot. You don't think?
Ah, I see you've come to appreciate the true nature of this scene. That of a tragedy about to take place.
Yes, I think it's falling into place.
Oh,
Miss Green, the contents of the bottle you had before that spilled on the floor, and the poor mouse that drank it that sadly died.
Oh.
I think it's clear that the bottle must have contained a powerful poison. Green dot dot dot.
Don't worry, I will attend to the mouse presently.
Miss Green, were you intending to go the same way as that rodent? To take out your own life?
Ooh! Once we've left, you would have to put it in your lips again, wouldn't you? And take in the poison?
No!
And she fell on the ground again.
Miss Green, please! Please, talk to us!
Green dot dot dot.
Sorry.
Mr. Duncan Ross. Who would ever have thought he was engaged to be married to Miss Green?
To lose one's beloved fiancée must be painful enough.
But then Miss Green suffered that awful injury and outside her fiancé's former lodgings too.
Fate can be very cruel sometimes.
Okay, we check this. They don't want us to explore the fallen canvas on the floor. Let's converse. Ah! 2 more subjects, suicide and the card.
10 seconds later, and we will have arrived at a very different scene here. In all probability, we would not have enjoyed this most delightful conversation. Of course, perhaps it hasn't been quite so delightful from your perspective, Miss Green.
Green ...
Actually, in a way, now that everything's out in the open, I feel like a weight has been lifted.
Tell me, how did you acquire that medicine? ...
Well, with this being a hospital and all, when the doctor comes to examine me in the mornings, he always leaves the medicine cabinet open for a while, so I snuck this out when he wasn't looking.
It conspicuously lacks a label. I wonder what it contains.
I'm afraid I don't really know, but I thought if I drank it, it might just stop the pain somehow.
Oh, please, Miss Green, don't talk of such things.
She's near crying. Well, it seems clear now that it contains poison.
Yes, that poor little mouse is proof of that.
Oh no! Oh, it's all my fault! What have I done?
I shall remove this to my office, Miss Green. I take it you have no objection.
No, none.
The card.
Neither descendant's name nor address appear to be written on the envelope in the card.
Oh! Oh, here we are. Here we have something important. The envelope is already open, and it's already toned, and it's the same color as the shard that we found in Shem Spear's room. Why does she have that?
Neither descendant's name or address appear to be written on the envelope or the card.
It arrived by post at my home the day before the incident that put me in the hospital here.
I have information regarding the death of Duncan Ross. Come to the Slug and Salad on Briar Road at 5 p.m. on the 17th. Don't tell anybody else about this letter or the meeting. It's a matter of utmost importance. Green ... Wait a minute, the 17th of this month? That's the day you were stabbed on Briars Road!
And 5 p.m.
It's precisely the time when the incident occurred. ... The Slug and Salad, yes, a pub on the northern corner of Briar Road.
Briar Road being the street that Mr. Garridev's house is on.
Does that mean that...
Yes, I'm sure you've guessed. That day, when I was stuck in the back by the knife, I was actually on my way to the Slug and Salad.
Goodness!
So that's what you were doing on Briar Road that day. Green ...
I'm sorry I didn't say anything before. I think I really have to ask you to excuse me now. I've told you everything.
Yes, I'm very sorry to have had to drag up such painful memories for you.
No, it's fine.
Miss Green, please promise us you won't cry. You won't try to do anything like that again.
Oh yes, don't worry. The detective friend has the bottle now anyway. And besides, I've been stabbed in the back and had a close shave with a bottle of poison, and I'm still here. I think I'm destined to see things through to the end. It might sound a little conceited, but well, that's how all this has made me feel.
Leaving Miss Green and Sir St. Bartholomew's behind, we made our way back to Baker Street with Mr. Sholmes. It's nighttime. Well, it would appear we've reached the end of the investigate trail for today. Yes, it's late. And Mr. Naruhodo, did you discover anything that may be of use to you in court tomorrow, do you think? Details about Mr. Shakespeare, Mr. Garrideb's lodgings, the convict Selden. There are many facets to this case, and we've yet to see to the heart of it, if you ask me. That's my feeling, anyway.
Can't help wondering about the results of the analysis. Into Mr.
Natsume's tea, you mean?
Yes, will they have found strychnine in it or not?
Well, I feel that either way, it will be hard to escape the grip of our friend Mr. Reaper.
Oh dear.
Yes, Baroque von Zeke.
But I wish you every success, of course. And though I was late to rise this morning, tomorrow will be a new dawn. I intend to spring from my bed at a crisp hour and attend the trial.
Mr. Sholmes, you're going to come?
Indeed, whatever happens, I shall be there, assuming my eyelids cooperate in the morning.
Well, I think we've done all we can. All that's left is to remain focused and keep fighting for Mr. Natsume, cause until the very end. London, the world's most prosperous city, home to some 6 million people. But away from the razzle-dazzle, down back alleys and behind bricked-up windows, the lonely lurk. Sosuke-san had battled long and hard with loneliness during his many months here. And so I felt honor-bound to battle equally hard to my compatriot, to lift the curse that griped him. As Mr. Sholmes said, tomorrow will be a new dawn, for all of us. To be continued! Save your current progress.
Would you like to save?
Yes, we would like to save. And I believe this is when I'm gonna take this opportunity to make myself the snack I mentioned 2 hours ago. So yeah, I'm gonna do that now. We're gonna take a little, this is a nice moment to pause. We're gonna do that now. And I wish I could leave you with some music. Let's see. What can I play you? All right. Oops. So there it is. Shouldn't take too long. Alright. I have time to make myself a little snack and eat it halfway through. So we are ready to continue. "23rd of February, 9:23 a.m. The Old Bailey, defendant's antechamber." Sorry about that. Now we see Natsume's big face. Zoom out. Soseki ... Susato ... Ryunosuke ...
This is it then, Mr. Naruhodo?
Yes, it's time to put an end to this now. To the miserable curse that's been plaguing Mr. Natsume. To everything.
And in my own small way, I shall do everything I can to help you.
I always appreciate your help, Miss Susato.
Suffering Soseki selfishly sidelined!
Ah!
Good morning to you too, Mr. Natsume. Oops. Good morning! Good morning, locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire! Listen to you two chatting away happily as if the main player of today's trial isn't here! Why would you do that? Why? Oh dear.
Oh, we didn't mean to cause offense, Mr. Natsume. I thought perhaps because you had your eyes shut so tightly you were meditating, finding inner calm? It seems wrong to disturb you.
I was waiting! What's the matter, Mr. Natsume? You seem different somehow today, Mr. Natsume. Why, naturally, that's because I've attained spiritual enlightenment.
The path of literature, you see, is a journey to discover one's own depth. Or such like.
That's the sort of morning conversation I was hoping for. That's why I had my eyes shut. I missed the signs, I'm afraid, somehow. You'll have to forgive me.
And you mustn't talk of your path leading you to death, Mr. Natsume.
That was just an example! Oh yes, there it is, inner calm.
You barely came to see me all yesterday. I was sure you would abandon me and return to our beautiful long-lost homeland.
We're not even being in Great Britain a week yet.
Yes, well, anyway, I intend to set everything straight in court today. I've determined to uncover the truth. Exclamation mark.
I've actually reached an important decision myself.
Oh? What sort of decision?
I shall fill you in after the trial.
Alright?
It would seem Mr. Shams didn't come in today after all. It's a very clever message, I think. My dear fellows, you must win this battle on your own merits.
It's a very clear message, I think, that he's overslept again.
The great detective? My arch nemesis, Sherlock Sholmes! Long may he stay away,
if you ask me.
Defendant and your legal representative. The trial is about to begin. Make your way into the courtroom immediately.
Today, once again, we face the Reaper. And when the Reaper stands for the prosecution, the defendant's fate is sealed. But I don't believe in that legend any more than I believe in Soseki-san's curse. The truth is hidden here somewhere, and I won't let it escape me. I have to keep believing in my client and keep fighting to the very end. That's all. 23rd of February, 9:40 a.m., the Old Bailey courtroom. Robbo, 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 robbo.
In the name of Her Majesty the Queen.
Oh boy, that's a good start.
I hereby declare this court to be in session. I call upon the counsel for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed.
The prosecution is ready. Yes, the defense is ready, Your Honor.
Very good. And now I call upon the 6 ladies and gentlemen of the jury, chosen by lot, to present the will of the people in this trial. Are you ready to proceed?
Absolutely. Justice will be done. You mark my word.
Oh, I feel obliged to say I feel especially ruthless on days when my hat is sitting just right. Oh, well, I wonder if you could just adjust my hat for me, and please be as ruthless as you like. Oh, Steve deserves to die if you ask me, especially gas thieves. I have no sympathy for the man at all.
Look, I said it yesterday, and I'll say it again now. I don't have time for this. I got my own problems.
Oh, may the Lord show us all the light here and lead his flock to a righteous verdict again today. Now, Lord Van Zeeks, what can you tell us?
Dot, dot, dot.
The prosecution report, please, for the court, in relation to the theory expounded by the defense yesterday regarding the defendant's tea.
Exclamation mark. Oh, so he does have the results. Pouring a glass of wine. Before the prosecution delivers the black news about the black tea belonging to the blackguard in the dock, pray allow me a moment to savor a liquid of a more sanguine hue. In fact, I'll defer to the good detective for the report. Here's to you, Inspector! Yes, sir! Thank you, sir! Inspector Gregson, on duty! Reporting for duty. As indicated by the defense, we found a bar of soap just outside the victim's window in the snow. And there was indeed a frozen reddish liquid in a little depression on the top of it. Yes! That's the tea! That's what Mr. Natsume brought with him last night. Well, the brains of the yard analyzed it, and yes, you were right. It was tea. And there wasn't a trace of strychnine or any other toxic substance in it.
No poison at all!
In other words, the tea that the defendant brought with him to the victim's room is innocent. It's in the clear.
What a revelation!
Rubble. As I suspected. This makes it quite clear. The defendant, Mr. Sosuke Natsume, is blameless here. My learned friend is jumping to conclusions again. A typical Nipponese reaction. What? Yes, it's true. No poison was found in the few drops of liquid recovered from the soap on the window ledge. But what logic is that? Would you take a drop from the Thames and conclude that the water in the ocean ain't salty?
My word! The water in the ocean is extremely salty, Counsel.
There! Exactly my point, Your Honor! As I throw my glass inside the candelabra, on fire! Unfit for drinking! Just as the victim's tea was on the night in question, as the court has already heard. Bitter was the precise word from the lips of Mr. William Shakespeare, whom the prosecution now calls back to the stand.
Very well. I will uphold the prosecution's request.
Mr. Shamspear?
Yes, it sounds like we're going to have another confrontation with our theatrical friend.
Bailiff! Show Mr. Shamspear to the stand.
Mr. William Shamspear, the victim of this despicable crime.
Oh heaven, oh hell, do you command me to remember? Forsooth, 'twas I, Shamspear, did have a bellyful of the foul fluid given in my innocence.
Yes, but as was revealed in yesterday's proceedings, the witness is not as innocent as we had perhaps first been led to believe.
By using bars of soap such as this, he has been stealing gas from the supply company. Yes.
One may smile and be a villain. Forsooth, 'twas I, Shamspear, did have a room full of the sweet fuel given.
That's right. Fellow jurors, don't forget, this man is a rotten thief. I haven't forgotten. Kept all about the ice squads a tiny secret, didn't you? You should have owned up sooner.
Arrest him, I say! Arrest him at once, and let him feel the sting in my tail! Oh, indeed, by dint of vile and cowardly means have I plotted to further my own ends, I confess. Thou wilt not pardon my sins, of that I am sure.
If you acknowledge your wrongdoing, what exactly are you doing here?
Cowards die many times before their death, and for a coward such as I, death be well deserved. But would it be a still greater crime passed it unpunished? For lo, the hairy-faced gentleman of farther east than Verona did contrive to poison me.
Objection!
But there was no poison in the tea found in your room. The police has attested to that. What the defense would assert as an inconsistency will quickly be cleared up by the witness testimony. Is that not so, Mr. Shamspear?
Verily, my liege, I would most gladly speak.
Very well. Let the witness testify to explain this inconsistency. Tell the court why is it that poison apparently entered your body, though none was found in the tea.
Witness testimony. The tea inconsistency.
The Japanese man did come to my chamber with tea brewed in a pot. 'Twas in my cup alone that the wicked miscreant secretly poured his wicked poison. Whilst feigning distraction in our debate, there the drop of his own drink past his lips. When he departed by and by, I did use the tea that remained in his cup to make my coins of ice. Thus still no surprise that poison be not found in the tea I did pour into the molds of soap.
The poison was slipped into the cup after the tea had been poured. The normal way for poison to be administered, in my experience.
Quite. Otherwise, it would be disastrous if the poisoner were to mix up the cups, for instance.
But no poison bottle was found at the scene. Because, quite simply, the Nipponese took the bottle back to his own room. Exclamation mark. The absence of a vessel containing the poison only becomes problematic when considering suicide. I knew that. By now it should be perfectly clear. A bar of Tua cheap soap is wholly insufficient to wash the deep stain of guilt from the accused's hand. Or,
Sirs, madams, 'tis true that I, Shamspear, be a common thief of gas.
but, Listen here, ladies and gentlemen. He bends his scepter. He straightens it up.
Ah! Wherefore would I lie? Verily I have no cause. I have naught to lose.
I do declare.
Thank you for your testimony, witness. Counsel, proceed with a cross-examination.
Yes, my lord. Cross-examination. The tea inconsistency.
The Japanese man that come to my chamber with tea brewed in a pot.
Hold it! I understand now you were actually acquainted with Mr. Natsume, is that correct?
I know thee not, old man. Fall to thy prayers. Do I know thee, or know thee not? Methinks this all I can know, that thy destiny mingles with mine.
You lost me at the first day.
Zounds, thou must learn the English tongue afore thou turns thy hand to lawyering.
Fuck you, sir! No, I'm sorry. Frickadow, kind sir! Frickadow. Oh, I did, but I must have missed the archaic Elizabethan lecture.
Verily and in truth, 'twas a fine flavored brew, though a drop of poison did barb his sweetness, as the thorn doth barb the sweet rose. That, dear friends, be the simple truth. Listen to Mr. Shamspear. He seems in even better form than he was yesterday.
Either that, or I'm in worse form.
That faded evening after I did dine at Grubb's Grubbery, a local alehouse of good report, naught did pass my lips but the tainted black tea. But behold, the poison was not in the tea at first. 'Twasn't my cup alone that the wicked miscreant secretly poured his wicked poison.
Or are you saying that you saw the moment when the poison was added to your tea?
To have witnessed the act and then drank the tea? Thou dost describe the actions of a fool.
Quite so, quite so.
But no one likes going thirsty, do they? Bend his scepter again.
Sooner would I die quenched than parched, would I have the choice.
Actually, on the night in question, the water main was frozen. I believe, wasn't it?
Oh, were it not for the tea, in sooth, I would soon have died frozen than quenched or parched.
Right, no ice coins means no eating. The witness has more than one brush with death on the night in question, it would seem. Remind the court, Mr. Shamspear, as to whether the accused drank any of the tea which he brought with him.
With the greatest of pleasure, my liege. While swinging distraction in our debate, never did a drop of his own drink pass his lips.
But the teacup Mr. Natsume was found completely empty at the scene. And let's not forget the defendant Maxim, drink tea while it's hot.
I did gulp from the poison cup that night, and in mine agony did I write uncontrolled. In fits of pain I did knock the fellow's cup, and its contents spilt as blood from a gaping wound, methinks. Though certainly 'twas after I had made the coins of ice from his tea.
An upset cup was found on the table that the victim was slumped over. There is no contradiction here.
It's true, there was no tea left in either cup that we found at the scene. But still, some things about this statement is troubling me.
Yes, of course, I know what it is. It's Mr. Natsume's wise drink tea while it's hot maxim, isn't it? Da.
No, I'm not sure that's it.
Thank you, witness. Now reiterate for the court, what is it that occupied you after your guest had left before you drank the tea?
When the departed by and by, I did use the tea that remained in his cup to make mine cones of ice. But you know what? I think I know what he's going about. Not a single drop of his own drink passed his lips. But, let me check. There is no tea ring on the inside of Natsume's cup. Or the victim's medical report. 30 minutes after ingestion. If he drank the tea like he said he would not, the effects would not happen at 1:30. We're back at square one. You know what, I'm gonna press everything down, I'm gonna save. When the departed by and by makes a cone of ice. Yes, so that you could cheat the gas company, in fact. Isn't that right? To cheat or not to die. This life's only choice. To cheat or to die. Yes. Fate! To cheat be the wise choice, and mine occupation be not an ugly one. Pretty, dost thou not see beauty in the simplicity of the ruse? No, I don't, and be very sure, sir. Once this trial is over, Ultimate Gas will take you to take over this legal task. I shall not run, I shall not hide. Sooth to say, I have nowhere to run nor to hide. But my lady, what wilt thou with this pitiful player? Oh, I'll tell you what I'd like to do with you, starting with the shoddy shirt on your back. This time for a sham spear dance. La la la, trolley do lolly, la la, hip hip, oh oh, hip hip hip, oh. What a harsh word we'll live in. The thieving of the gas was addressed in yesterday's proceedings. The prosecution calls on the defense not to muddy the waters with irrelevancy.
Consider that a warning, Consul.
Yes, my lord. Why am I the one in trouble here? Mr. Shamspear, after the accused returned to his own lodgings, you used this tea to make your coins. Is that correct? To cheat or to die, I did make my choice many moons ago. Does this no surprise that poison not to be found in the tea I did pour into the molds of soap?
Hold it!
If having first made your special coins, it was after 2 in the morning when you collapsed, that would mean you can't have drunk any tea yourself until around that time. Once ensnared by literary debate, naught else be found in the furrows on the mind. The debate around Romeo and Juliet, you mean? And who was the stronger of the two? Rightly did I pay no heed to the tea as I wrestled with the abominable fellow. I don't remember debates like that when I was studying.
Are you suggesting that neither of you actually drank the tea while it was hot that evening?
My lord, wouldst thou be privy of some Shamspearian wisdom? Husband, wife, and tea out I tepid be. Oh yes, so very true. Everyone has different preferences when it comes to tea. Well, I think you might have interpreted that wrongly. So it's been proven that there was no poison in Sosuke-san's tea. That should be usually in our favor. But the atmosphere in this courtroom today... It feels as though everybody is against us, Mr. Naruhodo. must be the Reaper's poison. I'm afraid we don't have a significant flaw in this testimony somewhere.
The jury will pounce and find Mr. Natsume guilty.
It really feels like we've jumped into the fire here.
Okay. So, I'm gonna save here. Then present the medical report.
Objection!
No. The witness not statement could be contradictory, undeniably. Failed to see contradiction. Itself is a contradiction, indeed, blah blah blah. Maybe the cup.
Objection!
Yes, it was the teacups. You claim that Mr. Natsume didn't drink a drop of tea on the night in question. But that's impossible. How, Chop Logic? What is it, you darkly clad fiend? Okay, cause there are no rings inside of Natsume's teacup. Usually a ring is formed when you let the tea in the cup for too long and makes a ring. So if he claims that in Natsume's teacup he left the tea there, there should be a ring as well. But the ring is in Shamspear's tea, so he didn't drink his tea. The two teacups from the scene, one used by the victim and the other by the defendant, have a clear difference between them. One that represents incontrovertible proof.
Incontrovertible.
What difference? Look at the inside of the cups. Just here, there's a clearly visible ring.
Yes, a tea ring, commonplace enough.
Indeed, such things occur all too readily when one leaves tea in the cup for a while.
And yet, Mr. Natsume's cup has no such ring.
Good lord, you're right. It's completely clean.
And pretty, sir, what makest thou of it? Exactly what Mr. Natsume told the court yesterday. The Japanese saying he quoted, "Drink!
Tea.
While it's hot!" That's right, yes. The jury, Mr. Natsume, was true to his usual self that night and drank his tea in no time. If, as you claim in your testimony, he didn't touch a drop of his tea, a ring would have developed on the inside of his cup as well after the several hours of the tea was left standing. But, in short, Mr. Shamspear, you're clearly lied to the court. Get me to another ring!
Objection!
Glop, glop, glop. As a rule, I fill my aloe chalice up to 7 times during any one trial. You might want to keep that information to yourself. Well, yeah, I believe people counted the cups and there was an inconsistency, and I don't think it's like 7 times with every trial, but now I was gonna pour another one. Yet on occasion, tedium distracts me and I pour more times than I intend until the bottle is dry. Your drinking habits are fascinating but irrelevant. On the contrary, they illustrate the fickleness of human memory. A toast to William Shamspear, pardon. Yes, my liege. Though you previously stated that you made the coins of ice from the leftover tea in the accuser's cup, could it be that you were perhaps mistaken? Could it be that, yes, perhaps there was some tea remaining in the small teapot left at the scene? He crushed his cup.
A fact that has vanished from your memory until now. Objection! Prosecution is leading the witness. Fate, my liege, thou art a magician. Objection! Prosecution leading the witness. For verily, this is though thou hast seen with thine own eyes that night. What? Forsooth, I was mistook. I did plan to use tea from the Japanese fellow cup, but lo, when I looked, 'twas empty. And thus did I use the dregs that festered in the teapot, as my liege did suggest.
Objection!
And you just suddenly remember now that you made a mistake before? Are we supposed to believe that?
Objection!
People's memories are imperfect, my learned friend, which is why we rely on evidence instead. Exclamation mark. But in any case, it makes no difference. The victim's most recent testimony tells us two things of note. Firstly, that the poison was put into the victim's teacups only. And secondly, that the spoiled cup was not the source of the insipid ice coin that has bewitched this court.
The prosecution makes a fine summary of the facts.
Furthermore, that testimony remains valid and in full support of the established facts. In other words, they remove his cape. The inconsistency claimed by the defense simply does not exist. No! Robble, what does this mean then?
Oh, it do declare it means there's no issue with the gas thief's testimony.
Apart from the bill about tea and gas, obviously!
My lords, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I do solemnly swear, after I did dine at Grubb's Grubbery Hill House that night, naught did pass my lips but the black tea given me by the Japanese, whose back we stooped as low as death.
And on what did you dine, sir?
Why, I did partake on my favorite, a broth as would be called soup, and a leaf as would be called salad.
As insalubrious a menu as the establishment where it was served.
But you gods will give us some fault to make us men. Willingly would I suffer what punishment this fiend seemed fit to serve a wicked thief of gas. But I pray you wise and noble fellows never to forget the simple truth. That be one thing, and this be another.
Exclamation mark. From the jury and from Ryunosuke.
True as all, your humble servant Shamspear doth entreat you, punish the Japanese fellow for his sins.
My lord! If I may speak, my lord.
Yes, Foreman.
I believe we may have been duped by that rotten defense lawyer.
By me? I do declare you may be right.
We all know the waif there was making scones of ice to keep himself warm.
Yeah, but his lawyer said that if he's stealing gas, he deserves a dose of poison, eh? He's been linking us up to the garden path, that's what he's been doing. Oh, I really never said anything like that. But what we just heard from the victim there has hope in our eyes again. We've reached a decision this time, and we won't be swayed from it.
The court acknowledged the position of the jury foreman, and will duty hear the jury's finding.
What? No! You can't yet!
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will state your decisions now.
Guilty!
Guilty. Guilty. Guilty.
Even her?
Guilty. Guilty.
6-0, another judicial examination. Oh boy. 6-0 for black.
I hereby declare the jury to be in one accord.
Oh, happy day. Kaloo Kalay!
Van Zig ... How is this happening? My lord, the defense asserts its right to carry out a summation examination.
Very well. The court upholds the defense's right.
Typical. My learned friend is unable to accept the obvious truth.
This trial will therefore enter its second summation examination immediately. Jurors, the court calls upon each of you.
Sorry, I took another bite.
To state the grounds upon which you find the defendant guilty of the crime of which he is charged.
Judicial findings. The juror's contention. I'm a man of logic, me, and having considered all the evidence, the defendant must logically be guilty.
I do agree that gas is far too expensive. I can quite understand why the man would want to avoid paying.
The stuff explodes and it can poison you. It's absolutely lethal, gas is.
Gas doesn't come for free. It costs a fortune to deliver it around the city and maintain the pipes.
Truth be told, the tea my wife serves up for me is a little sketchy at times.
If nothing else past the victims lived that night, there's no explanation, is there?
I want to go with number 6. He has something to say.
I do feel that perhaps personal opinion about gas and its supplies has influenced the decision somewhat. But never mind.
No, you really should mind.
The truth is, our counter-argument wasn't unassailable as we'd hoped. And Mr. Shamspear was poisoned, there can be no doubt of that.
Then how are we supposed to turn this around?
I think we need to establish the method by which Mr. Shamspear was actually poisoned. Our only hope is to demonstrate that to the court incontrovertibly.
But that's surely almost impossible at this stage.
If we don't manage it though, Mr. Natsume will
be found guilty.
No delays, counsel. Proceed with the summation examination.
Jury examination. The defendant's rebuttal. I'm a man of logic, me, and having considered all the evidence, the defendant must logically be guilty.
Hold it!
All the evidence, you say? That's right, and there's no room for doubt. It's all pointing at a Japanese man with a big mustache. Says the Englishman with a bigger mustache.
Which means we need to show the man some new evidence to make him change his mind.
If only we had that kind of evidence. Okay, we'll come back later.
Don't worry, the summation examination has barely started, really. Perhaps there will be a shift in the situation that shows the existing piece of evidence in a new light.
Let's hope so. To start with, though, I need to find some way out of this deadlock.
I do agree that gas is far too expensive. I can quite understand why the man would want to avoid paying.
Hold it!
This isn't the time or the place to be discussing the price of gas, madam.
But really, think of the injustice! Air is a gas, and air is free! Why will Ultima gas cost money? It makes my blood boil! I can feel myself becoming more ruthless than ever!
This isn't the time or the place to be ruthless either.
If I might interject here...
Oh, yes, madam, juror number 4.
It seems my fellow jurors takes issue with the price our company charged for gas. But it's precisely because of teas like this man that the cost goes up. Oh, what a beastly man. That unkempt mustache, those hunched shoulders, poisoning tea and stealing gas, utterly unforgivable!
Oh my god. She's such a klutz. No. Mr. Natsume isn't the one who's been stealing gas. I'll thank you not to go adding on more crimes.
Mr. Natsume hasn't been poisoning tea either. Well, anyway, I've quite made up my mind. It's all made up as the price of gas.
The stuff explodes and it can poison you. It's absolutely lethal gases.
Could we please talk about the poison gas? Oh. 3 and 6. Could we please talk about the poison rather than the gas, do you think, sir?
Well, if you like, I mean, to be honest, I would take poison over gas every time.
You would take poison?
Well, what I mean is, poison can only poison you. It doesn't explode, does it?
Goodness me, what are you talking about? Set him straight, please, lawyer man. Well, it's certainly true that poison isn't prone to exploding. But I think you'll find that poison also can't light or heat up a room.
Ah, you're right. I hadn't considered that at all.
Young lawyer man. And she waves her fan. Yes? You have a good head on your shoulder. We could use someone like you as your company's legal representative. Do you want a job? Thank you, ma'am, but, maybe another time. I wasn't expecting to pick up more business in the middle of a trial, that's for sure.
Anyway, the point is, I haven't had the best experience with gas company in the past.
Okay, I'm gonna try something. Maybe it won't work. Because if nothing else past the victim's lift that night, there's no explanation, is there? Pit with the stuff explodes and it can poison you. It's absolutely lethal gases. I want to try that, but first I'm gonna save. One, two, three.
Objection!
Ah, it didn't work. Those two statements are firmly at odds with one another. Hold it. My lord, as foreman of the jury, I must object. What?
Being their leader, this is my duty to stand up for all jurors here present and stand for them I will.
I concur with the foreman, counsel, I warn you. I shan't buy any pettifoggery.
Until you got your facts straight, keep your pointy fingers to yourself. Oh, I thought I did.
We're trying to find inconsistencies in this juror statement, Mr. Naruhodo. The key to it is comparing the different things they say before attempting to pit them against one another.
Alright, I'll have another go. Alright, let's start with number 4 then.
Hold it!
Can we please refrain from all this talk of gas? There's an all-out attack underway here, in case you haven't noticed, against my company's gas. And I'm supposed to sit here and take it, am I? I don't think so. She's really buzzing now. All I've heard about our wonderful fuel is explosion and poisoning. What about electricity, What about getting electrocuted, What about that? A little explosion here and there's nothing in comparison.
Any explosion could hardly be described as nothing, madam. Nevertheless, the thief of your gas is deplorable.
My point exactly. But the gas thieves aren't even the worst of our enemies. We have far more devious reprobates to contend with on a daily basis, you know. More devious? Who, madam? Other gas company, of course. Other gas companies? Not quite what I was expecting. We generate gases and we deliver it to our customers fair and square.
Indeed, nobody is questioning that, madam. Altamont is an exemplary gas company.
But there are other unscrupulous gas companies here in London that don't even have any gas at all. What? But if they don't have any gas, how do they go about selling it to people? Are they siphoning it for you? You wouldn't think it possible, would you? But they still are gas, you see, and they sell that.
They steal your gas? How on earth is such a thing possible?
Gas companies like ours deliver gas to people's homes via a network of pipes. But these devious reprobates secretly disconnect our pipes and divert our gas into their own rotten pipes. Then they make a contract with the household supplied by those pipes and take money from the precious gas that's rightfully ours without us even knowing.
They're diverting gas into their own pipes illegally. What a present form of theft!
When we visit connectors' houses to collect the money for their meters, we always have to check whether or not one of these devious companies have been up to his tricks. Number 3 has something to say.
Excuse me.
Do you have something to say about that, juror number 3?
Oh, golly, you mean me? I'm terribly sorry. I was just thinking to myself,
oh, he said he had a bad experience with gas. Probably he was a customer of one of these shady companies. I really did catch him off guard there. Thinking about what the lady next to you was saying, correct?
Well, yes. I just got a little riled up about it recently, you see.
Go on.
An ultimate gas worker visited my house the other day to investigate the pipework.
We need to ask for your cooperation while we carry out a secret check of your property, sir, the fellow said.
So I let him in, and do you know what he did?
I'm afraid I have no idea. Please tell us.
He proceeded to take one of my lights off the wall. Then he grabbed the exposed mouth of the pipe and started blowing into it.
What do you think you're doing, young man? You're giving away company secrets here.
Oh, please, everybody knows, but it was very nearly the death of me, I can tell you.
What do you mean? I'll explain if you don't mind. As I said before, these unscrupulous other gas companies connect their customers to our pipe network. Yes, but how does blowing into the pipes come into it? Obviously, there's gas in the pipes. It's at fairly low pressure. By blowing air through the pipe, you can make the pressure drop temporarily. And if you do that, any lights connected to the same pipe would flicker for a moment. Oh, wait. Wait, let me check something. Ah, I see. The reason why there are so many fingerprints on the wall is not because of the picture frame. On top of that, there is a lamp. So he's hanging on the floor. He opened the thing here to blow the gas away to lower the pressure, to make the light flicker. So does that mean that his alibi was correct? I tried to remember what else was said in court, and I have a brain fart. Like, Shakespeare's left, then came back. And as he came back, he turned out the gas. Yeah, this will come later on.
I see, in other words, if upon blowing onto the pipe, the lights of an adjacent property that's no contract with your company flicker, you can know that these devious scoundrels have been meddling with the pipes.
Exactly, my lord. That's it in a nutshell. It's the reason why we have teams of workers going around neighborhoods to investigate which lights flicker.
The trouble is, the particular worker who came to my house didn't know the strength of his own breath. He blew down the pipe with all his might, and you can guess what happened, can you?
Well, if he blew hard, then... Wait, you made...
That's right, the light didn't just flicker, they went out, along with the stove. Gas started pouring into the house.
Oh, fuck! Natsume's lodging. His gas has been hooked by one of the... Oh, fudge. Oh, fudge. So the pylons went out, now the gas leak, and he asphyxiates. So... Oh my god, lady, you're in deep shit! The gas company killed Selden, killed Duncan Ross, almost killed Natsume. Oh my god, you're gonna be in trouble, miss. You're gonna have, You're gonna have a group lawsuit in your hand. What a disaster!
The gas supply must have been interrupted briefly because the man blew too hard, so the flames went out.
I'm afraid I yelled at the fellow. Are you trying to kill us all? I said.
So by disconnecting a lamp and blowing into the exposed gas pipe, it's possible to extinguish lamps and stove connected to the same network of pipes. And then when the gas starts flowing again, it just silently seeps into the room.
Mr. Naruto, I think perhaps...
Yes, this is almost certainly the clue that we've been hoping for. Juror number 3, the defense requests that you amend your statement to include that information.
Oh, well, if you like, I don't mind.
Well, I do! That's our company's secret method of identifying the rogues that try to steal from us.
Like I said, madam, it's widely known already.
But they tried to diddle us! Diddle, I say!
Very well. Juror number 3, you will amend your statement accordingly.
Yes, my lord. Although I'm not really sure what the point of all of this is. Blow too hard into a gas pipe and you extinguish everything in the house, and then you're in real trouble.
Now can I pit it against number 6?
Objection!
Yes! These two statements clearly contradict each other.
Good gracious! To whose statement do you refer, Consul?
Juror number 6, did you hear what juror number 3 just said?
What? Yes, of course! I heard him rambling about something or another.
There is another explanation, I believe. Something besides Mr. Natsume's tea did, in a matter of speaking, pass the victim's lips on the night in question.
What? What explanation?
I wonder, did the police check the mouth of the gas pipes feeding the wall light at the scene to see if there were any traces of poison there? I was curious to see what your floundering would result in this time, but the mouth of a gas pipe? Scotland Yard have enough to do without exploring such irrelevance. Hold it! What a piece of work, he's a man. What are you trying to say, Mr. Shamspeare? What speakest thou? Prithee, is it not strange and strange? That it is what I say today, sir! Dig it up, dig it up, dig it up! Oh, I thought I'd been quite clear, but let me put it another way. The strychnine could have been on the mouth of the gas pipe that feeds the wall lamp in your room. And that is how the poison came to enter your body.
Good Lord!
Are they tasty then, gas pipes? Is that what he's saying?
Or is it the gentleman suggesting that the poor man was so desperately hungry he tried to fill his belly with gas?
Perhaps no actress would perform a kiss scene with him.
For shame, madam. Speaking thy fancy.
I assure you I'm not such a buffoon I have to kiss pipes!
That I'm not such a buffoon that I have to kiss pipes.
Objection!
glass in the candelabra. This is no submission examination. This is a farce. The prosecution will not stand for any more of this learned Nipponese friend's conjecture. Exclamation mark. To begin with, the lamp in the victim's room is high on the wall. In order to have placed his lips to the pipe that feeds it, he would have to be a contortionist. These are empty assertions. Another cup. There is no possible proof that the man did as you say.
Objection.
Oh, it's true. I'll have no proof that Mr. Shamspeare put his lips to the pipe. However, I can say with some certainty that on multiple occasions, Mr. Shamspeare has been doing something in front of that lamp on his wall. And I have evidence to prove it. Exclamation mark. The scepter is still bent. Alright, you got our attention, lad. I'd like to see how you can be so sure of yourself.
So would I. Let's see this evidence then.
Now that I got the jurors here, I need to make sure this opportunity counts. This is the proof that time and time again, Mr. Shamspeare stood in front of his gas lamp. The handprints on the wall.
Take that!
What the?
These are... wait, what are they called? Yes! Skin prints that were found at the scene.
Skin prints, Counsel? I've never heard of such things. The Justice Ministry is currently assessing whether or not to permit fingerprints as evidence in court, however.
My lord, this is an exciting new forensic technique developed by the great detective, Mr. Sherlock Holmes. It reveals all of the places that Mr. Shamspeare touched in his room.
Oh, I've never seen anything like it. I mean, that's black magic, isn't it?
Well, if anyone could invent something like this, it's that great Holmes fellow, that's for sure.
I agree. This month's edition of Engineering Times was quite fascinating. We found skin prints in many places that you would expect. On the table, on the costumes. However, Mr. Shamspeare also appears to have been touching some very unexpected places in his room. For example, here. Around the hanging
picture there, indeed, multiple handprints appear to be visible.
Oh, well, I wonder. Could he have been appreciating the artwork, perhaps? At first, my colleagues and I thought the same. However, imagine standing with your hands where those prints are, and you would find yourself directly in front of... Ah! I don't believe it! The gas lamp! Though the reason why isn't immediately obvious, it's clear that Mr. Shamspeare has regularly been standing with his hands to the wall in front of that lamp.
Roy, what have you been up to, you nut?
Shamspeare somehow straightened his scepter and goes ... I'd ask the court to recall juror number 4's earlier statement. Me? What did I say? You said that blowing into a gas pipe would make the lights in the entire building flicker. And now if you recall juror number 3's statement...
What? Me now?
When the gas worker who visited his home blew with too much force into the pipe, it caused all the lights and the gas stove to go out. And gas to start leaking into the rooms. So he did that on purpose. So Shamspeare killed Sadler because he wanted the middle room. Then he killed Duncan Ross. Then he tried to kill Natsume. But for some reason, somebody put strychnine on the wall lamp. That could have been the guy from the gas company, because they were onto him because they know he was a gas thief. Obviously, the incident was an accident. However, the simple fact is, If Mr. Shamspear were to have blown hard into the gas pipe here in this room, he could have extinguished every other light and gas stove in the building at will.
Crikey!
Are you suggesting that the man purposely caused the gas to...
Objection!
Whilst I acknowledge that the prosecution is required to remain silent during a summation examination, a toast. I must toast my learned friend's utter disregard for the letter of the law.
What is the meaning of this, Lord Van Zeek?
This curious photograph, or whatever it is, presented by the defense, the so-called skin prints, clearly that cannot be accepted as any form of usable evidence in this case.
But it's an exciting new forensic technique developed by a great detective.
It's nothing! A mere toy developed by an amateur sleuth with too much time on his hands.
Certainly, even research of this nature by the esteemed Mr. Sholmes cannot be recognized by the court as formal evidence.
Hold it!
But...
Please, my lord, if I may.
Miss Zato?
It was not the defense's intention to submit the skin prints as formal evidence. We merely wish to present the result of the great detective's investigation of the scene as a tool by which to explain the possibility to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury.
Exclamation mark!
And if the trial were to come to an end now, we should never learn the truth behind these mysterious handprints that everyone have not now seen. And I don't believe we can allow that to happen, and I'm sure the jurors would agree.
Everybody question mark, exclamation mark. You're right! Whether those strange handprints are a significant clue or not, it's down to us to decide. Juror number 3, you're shifting?
Oh yes, I do declare the great detective's investigation results sound absolutely fascinating. And I want to hear what that shady actor fella has to say about these shady handprints. I'm shifting to white. 2!
Hey! 4-2. But that's not enough. What's the matter with you two? That was foolhardy.
Well, I did say it, didn't I? And I don't like to break a promise!
No way! You heard his lordship. It's not fair dinkum evident.
Switching to white.
Oh, well done, Mr. Naruto. If just one more juror chants his or our mine, Mr. Natsume's trial will have to continue.
Thank you, Mr. Zato, but I couldn't have done it without you.
Oh no, it was you who identified the clue after all. This is very much your success.
Shamspear's standing on the stand, leaning his weight against his scepter, is sweating bullets. Why, Mr. Shamspear? You seem to be losing your composure.
Just one more juror, Mr. Naruto. You can do it!
Very well. Continue, counsel.
Okay, so I have more. I'm a man of logic. I consider all the evidence. Let me check with number 5. Gas doesn't come for free. It costs a fortune. They're around the city maintaining the pipes. Truth be told, the tea my wife shows up to me is a little sketchy at times.
Hold it!
You mean it's poison? That's right. It's happened a tiny few times now.
This is most troubling indeed.
Well, it's always like this one when I don't get any wages. I get in at tea time, see? And I see her doing it, my wife. She gets that devilish look on her face, and she slips some white powder into my cup. And you're drinking anyway. Well, I was brought up proper, I was. If someone gives you a copper, you drink it. And what happened to you? What did it taste like? Oh, it was god-awful, believe you me. Salty as hell. She was pouring salt into his coffee. Dot 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 dot.
Then I think perhaps what your wife put in your tea was salt, thinking it was sugar.
No! So, she doesn't even care enough to poison me properly, eh? Unbelievable, that woman. That vile creature.
Let's move on, please! I don't believe in breaking promises. We can't come to a decision while so much is up in the air.
Okay, so who else has to... I'm very interested in the result of this great detective's investigation of the scene. I'm a man of logic, May, and having considered all the evidence, the defendant must logically be guilty. She didn't switch. Gas doesn't come free! Okay, I'm gonna continue with pressing her because I got interrupted by number 3, but now it's a thing of the past. There's an all-out attack, I noticed.
An explosion could hardly be described as nothing, madam. Nevertheless, the depth of gas is deplorable.
My point exactly, but the gas thieves aren't the worst of our enemies. Oh, the other gas company.
Indeed, nobody's questioning that, ma'am. Altamont is an exemplary gas company.
But there are others, unscrupulous gas companies here in London that don't even have any gas at all. Okay. They secretly disconnect our pipes and divert our gas into their own rotten pipes. Then they make a contract with the household supply by those pipes and take money from the precious gas rightfully ours without us even knowing. I had no idea. It's almost unbelievable. It might seem unbelievable to you, but it's happening all the time right here in the capital. It's very difficult selling something you can't see, you know. Very difficult indeed.
Thank you, that will do. Clearly, this is a very involved subject, but I feel we have digressed rather too much already.
I concur. Though if my learned friend wishes to become an expert in gas, I believe the subject will suit him well. Why? To your new career in nothingness. Thank you so much.
You will turn your attention to the next juror assertion, please, counsel.
Okay, so there was nothing here. Okay, so let me go with number 1 again. Can I press him again?
Hold it!
All the evidence, you say? That's right. And there's no room for doubt. It's all pointing to that Japanese man with a big mustache. Said the Englishman with a bigger mustache. But the defense just demonstrated another possible explanation of the events of the night in question. What do you make of that? What your so-called skin prints?
It's an exciting new forensic investigation technique, developed by the great detective himself.
The numerous handprints on the wall are clearly out of the ordinary. And if Mr. Shamspear has indeed put his mouth to the gas pipe on the night in question, it can't be denied that there's a possibility that's where the poison was. Well, yes, I won't deny that it's playing on my mind. But as the prosecution rightly says, we should pay no heed to unacceptable form of evidence. And besides, yes, even if the fellow has been up to some mischief with the gas pipes dozens of times before, it doesn't mean he got up to the same shenanigans on the night in question, does it? Oh,
you can't make your case better than that, I'm afraid I can't change my stance.
You do make a valid point, sir.
What? That's true. Perhaps I was a little hasty. Oh, no, wait. Look, you've got your chance here, haven't you? So it's time to prove your theory. If you and your Japanese cohorts can, that is.
Just leave our nationality out of this, please.
Mr. Naruto, if we can't substantiate our position, I'm afraid the jury that changed their minds before may very well change them back.
What can I do? Is there any more proof I can give here? Can I show that Mr. Shamspear really did blow down the guy's pipe on the night in question? Let me save. Save complete. Can I... Okay, I can check the court record. There are some skin print on the pipe. Some are near the dial, but some are on the pipe itself. Then you have more prints here. Proof that the I show? Do I have supporting testimony that he put his mouth? Can I show that Mr. Shamspear really did blow down the gas pipe on the night in question? I can't prove it. Well, I'm not in a position to prove it yet. As I thought. I had a feeling that would stump you Japanese. We are capable of independent thought, you know.
I think we need to gather some more material to bolster our position, Mr. Naruto.
Yes, that's what I was trying to imply by saying we can't prove it yet.
Thank you, counsel. On with the examination, please.
Okay, I cannot press with her, cannot press with her. Cannot press with him. Oh, this is hopeless. There's no way for me to appeal to these people.
I do think that the only way we shall overcome this difficult situation is by exposing the way in which Mr. Shamspear was really poisoned. We have to prove that it happened some other way and not via Mr. Natsume's tea.
Yes, I know. The trouble is, I have absolutely no idea how it did happen.
Mr. Naruto, I wonder if perhaps there's something you might have forgotten.
Oh, like what?
It's important to watch everyone involved and pursue people if they react to something.
Okay, so now, yeah, I've done it already. I've done it already.
If you'd like me to remind you exactly what I mean, I'd be more than happy to, of course.
Once again, Sosuke-san's fate is entirely in my hands here. I probably owe it to my clan to hear any advice my assistants may be able to offer. So perhaps I'll let Susato remind me, then again... I already pursued, so there's no need. Actually, I don't think there's any need. It's vital that we start trying to change this juror's mind as soon as possible.
Of course, I'm sure you're right. But if you decide you would like your memory refreshed, you need only ask, Mr. Naruto.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say that there is proof. I just don't see what it is. Maybe it's testimony. I'm gonna try supporting testimony. No, in truth, I don't have evidence to support my theory. However, there is witness testimony that substantiates it. What's that? Testimony?
This is incredible! Whose testimony?
Yes, it's all connected. Everything is linked. A person whose testimony revealed details about the gas in the Garydeb residence that night, namely Garydeb himself.
Take that!
Well, Mr. Foreman, does that convince you? Oh shit, no, didn't work. Phew, I don't think he was listening.
Rest assured, Console, I shan't let such nonsensical answer go without penalty.
Ugh, I thought I got away with it.
A witness who spoke about on the gas on the night in question. Yes, there was someone.
A witness who spoke about the gas on the night in question. That's what I thought too, but obviously I chose the wrong person. Okay, so I'm gonna have to reload. Because Susato is agreeing with me, that means I'm in the wrong. I'm in the right. Supporting testimony. I'm gonna save here. Alright. Natsume?
Take that!
Oh, it was Natsume. Obviously, I'm talking about the defendant. Mr. Sosuke Natsume himself. The defendant? At the very beginning of the proceedings here in court yesterday, Mr. Natsume said the following. My lodgings! There's been a whole series of strange happenings in my lodgings! Even on that fateful night it happened. When I returned from Mr. Shamspeare's room, I lit my gas stove and climbed into bed, but before long, the stove went out and somebody tried to kill me! On the night in question, the gas in the defendant's room went out. So I asked the court, was that a mere coincidence or not? Good golly!
Oh, so that Shamspears fellow blew air into the gas pipe to make the man stoves go out on purpose?
Now, hold on your horses there. What would you do that for? Shamspear is not sitting pretty. Mr. Foreman.
What is it, man?
We cannot allow judgment to be passed while this doubt remains. It's true that I don't have conclusive evidence yet. However, you must surely agree there is more to this case that meets the eye.
Ah!
Fair enough. Like I said at the outset, I'm a man of logic first and foremost, so I'm switching to white. 2 to 4. That's 4 jurors leaning towards not guilty, my lord. We have overturned the decision. Therefore, the defense calls for the trial to continue.
As the defense has rightfully indicated, the summation examination has concluded with a majority of jurors altering their decision. 2 jury members now called guilty, 4 now called not guilty. Therefore, the jury's opinion is conflicted, and in accordance with the law of this land, I hereby order the continuation of this trial. Mr. William Shamspeare.
My lord, how can thy humble Shamspear serve thee?
What say you in response to the various revelations made during the summation examination?
So God mend me, I do solemnly swear. I recall aught of either the lamp or the pipe.
But your handprints are made a tidy mess all over the wall there. How do you explain that, eh?
Dispose of the bottle.
I am done with this. The dignity of this great courtroom has been sullied enough already. Juror number 5. Who, me?
As I went to some pains to point out already, a print from the self-professed detective's toy has no place in the British court of law. As such, whether or not this man did indeed stand before the gas lamp with his hands against the wall remains at this time unestablished conjecture. You would all do well to remember that. But the prosecution must concede that it would be extremely simple to verify. Just order the mount of the gas pipe feeding that lamp in Mr. Shamspear's room to be examined. If there are traces of poison there...
Objection!
What appears to be extremely simple is my Nipponese friend's mind. You will recall that in order to check for the presence of poison in the tea, some remnants of tea were required. Yes? Therefore, it shouldn't be beyond your wit to imagine that even if poison were to have been spread on the pipe, it would have completely evaporated by now, making any analysis impossible. Oh, I didn't think of that.
In any case, Counsel, I fail to see what could possibly have motivated the man to do as you described. Why on earth would this fellow have wanted to blow air into the gas pipe work where he lived?
There's only one possibility that I can think of, and that is to use the leaking gas to commit murder.
Order! Order! Counsel, precisely whose life do you propose this man was plotting to end?
The answer couldn't be simpler. Now we unraveled the mystery this far. Mr. Shamspear wanted to end the life of Natsume.
Take that!
If a gas lamp were to go out, it would be noticed immediately, of course. But a gas stove, on the other hand, could be silently extinguished by the killer without anyone noticing.
Well, I live around these parts myself, so I know what it's like. I can tell you, trying to sleep without the stove lit is pretty much suicide. You would freeze to death in no time.
Mr. Garrideb, the landlord, has a large fireplace in his part of the residence on the top floor. In other words, it wasn't the landlord, but a fellow lodger whose life Mr. Shamspear was trying to end.
Outrageous!
I'm talking, of course, about the defendant. Shamspear, Mitsu Natsume isn't the villain in this case. It's the victim this man was trying to murder!
Good gracious!
Objection!
The accused is actually the aggrieved. Interesting. However, the fundamental facts of the case remain unchanged. Namely, that the accused is the aggressor here. What? How can you still claim that? Let us indulge your fancies for a moment and assume that there were indeed poison on the mouth of the gas pipe. The question that then arises is who put it there? Who did put it there? The only logical conclusion is that the person responsible was aware of this man's trickery with the gas supplies and his intent to kill.
Yes, that would indeed seem logical. If the assailant was unaware, how would he or she have known to lace the end of the gas pipe with poison?
So now we must ask, How could anyone have known of Mr. Shamspear's murderous design?
Oh, you mean to suggest?
Naturally, the sole possible answer to that question couldn't be more obvious. Only the man whose life was being threatened could be possibly have known. What? In other words, the person who put the poison on the gas pipe in what was a clear retaliatory attack can only have been the accused, Mr. Sosuke Natsume. Oh! Sure, number 1, number 2, number 3. Whatever Mr. William Shamspear may or may not have contrived to do, he was nevertheless the victim of a potentially lethal poison attack. And the only person who could possibly have perpetrated this attack is the accused, Mr. Natsume. The defense counsel's theorizing has failed to avert suspicion from the accused. Far from it. In fact, now that a clear motive for the poisoning has been successfully established, that suspicion is greater than ever. Would you not agree, my Nipponese friend? Rabble, 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 rabble. Rabble, 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 rabble. Rabble, rabble, rabble. Now all the juries are talking to each other. How did he manage to turn that around on me so rapidly? He's very good.
Mr. Naruto, you must respond! Otherwise the member of the jury may very well change their leanings against us again! And this may be our last chance to gain the advantage!
What advantage?
Well, it would seem that somebody put poison on the gas pipe in Mr. Shamspear's room. So we must name that person now and absolve Mr. Natsume of guilt.
You mean name the true culprit?
I know it might sound impossible, but if we fail to do that, I have no doubt that Mr. Natsume's fate will be sealed once and for all.
Okay, let's try our theory, if it works. As it happens, one possible culprit does come to mind. The evidence, the poison, it's all pointing to a particular person now. The prosecution calls for the jury to consider their leanings again. I trust you'll make the correct choice this time, Mr. Foreman. What? Oh, don't you worry. We know exactly what. There is one other person who I believe could have been involved in all of this. The true culprit of this crime. The true culprit? A term found only in second-rate novel featuring third-rate great detectives. My Nipponese friend. But why not? This farce has gone on for so long already, I see no reason to cut it short before its disappointing climax. But thank you. Now, tell us, my learned Nipponese friend, what is your latest theory? Who is the so-called true culprit of this crime? Let me check. Do we have it in... Yes, it is. Adrian B. Meterman.
Take that!
You claim this person is the true culprit. Oh no, did I get it wrong? Highly suspicious, I would say, yes. Perhaps, my learned Nipponese friend, you should turn those wide eyes of suspicion on yourself. What? For it seems to me that your reckless reasoning makes you far more than anyone else you could name. A very dangerous man indeed.
Mr. Naruto, please, you must concentrate.
Oh, I was trying to.
Then you must concentrate harder.
Oh, Horsh! Who is the so-called true culprit of this crime? Oh, shit. Shakespeare himself? But why would he drink poison himself? Okay, let's try that.
Take that!
No. I'm gonna have to reload. It's not Shakespeare, it doesn't make sense.
Take that!
No. Okay, I want to see the game over. What does it say? Oh!
Thank you, Console, that will do. I've seen enough. According to the power vested in me by Her Majesty the Queen, I declare no further examination necessary. I believe the court has been presented with more than enough evidence to pass judgment. As such, I shall be requesting the final decisions of the member of the jury. Are you all ready, Mr. Foreman?
We're all ready, my lord.
Very good, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. You will now sit fighting to the court in turn, please.
Guilty!
Guilty. Guilty. Guilty.
Guilty. Guilty.
Mr. Suski Natsume, in accordance with the findings of the court, I pronounce you guilty. I applaud the jurors for doing their civic duties and for finding a swift resolution to this matter. That is all. Court is adjourned.
Boom. Retry from this scene, retry from a save game. Let me see if I have more tries if I retry for this scene. Retry for the start of the current scene. Yes. There is one person. Do I have all my tries? Save here. Yes, I have all my tries. I cheated the system! Alright, so I would say Mr. Garadeb or Olivia Green. Those are my last tries. I have no idea who else.
Take that!
No. Easier just to go there. Okay.
Take that!
The name of the person responsible for the poison that afflicted Mr. Shakespeare is, I believe. Oh, okay, I see now. I see now. Olivia Green. We have proved that Olivia Green was seen at the scene of the crime before there was an envelope. There was an envelope when she received a word to go to somewhere. And then she was stabbed in the back. But why would she suspect The name of the person responsible for the poison that inflicted Mr. Shamspear is, I believe, Miss Olive Green.
Miss Olive Green? Miss Olive Green? I do feel as though I've heard that name in the recent past, Counsel, but I don't recall where.
Miss Olive Green? The woman from 6 days ago. The victim in the recent case of stabbing on Briar Road. An incident for which Mr. Natsume was arrested, I hasten to add.
Oh, of course, yes, Miss Green. She was left comatose for some 3 days, I believe, but I hear she regained consciousness 2 days ago.
And I hardly need remind the court that Mr. Shamspear's poisoning took place 3 days ago. Given that the woman was lying comatose in the hospital bed at the time, she appears to have a rather fine alibi. True, on the night that the incident occurred, Miss Green was in the hospital unconscious. So on the face of it, it would seem that she couldn't possibly be responsible, but still. My colleagues and I visited Miss Green in the hospital yesterday, and we found her to be in possession of a bottle of poison.
Good gracious, she had poison?
And there is another fact that links Miss Green to his case as well. The defense requests that she be brought to the witness stand in order to explain the details of the court.
Tell me, Mr. Shamspear.
Ah, my lord, pray, what be thy bidding?
Are you acquainted with Miss Green?
No, never heard of her.
Judging by the look of Mr. Shamspear's face, I think perhaps he genuinely doesn't know her. At least not by name. As the voice of Her Majesty's prosecution here, I adhere to my word. We will see my Lord Niboni's friend's farce through to his conclusion. Oh, I appreciate that. The prosecution requests a short recess, my lord, in order to subpoena the witness and bring her here.
Yes, Miss Olive Green.
Indeed, my lord. 1 hour should be sufficient.
Very well, I grant the request.
Excellent, I hope.
The defense have made the most extraordinary accusation, I must say. At the present time, I feel the prosecution argument remains largely uncontested. Accordingly, I'm afraid the defendant and his culpability remain the sole subject of this court's attention. Thank you, counsels. We reconvene in 1 hour. Court is adjourned.
To be continued. Okay. All right.